दिवसको हामी दोस्रो सत्र शुभारम्भ गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। कृपया यहाँहरू सबैलाई हल भित्र प्रवेश गरिदिनु हुन अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छौँ। हल बाहिर रहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण अतिथिज्यूहरू हल भित्र प्रवेश गरिदिनुहोला। अबको केही क्षणमा हामी यसपछिको छलफलको सत्रतर्फ प्रवेश गर्दैछौँ।
भावना मेरा
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention please? अब हामी दोस्रो सत्र सुरु गर्न गइरहेका छौँ। कृपया हल बाहिर रहनुभएका तपाईँ सम्पूर्ण हलभित्र प्रवेश गरिदिनुहोला। हामीले 2 बजेको लागि यो समय निर्धारण गरेका थियौँ। अबको पालो इन्टरेक्सन सेसनको रहेको छ। हाम्रो यो छलफल सत्रमा सहभागी भइदिनु हुनका लागि हल बाहिर रहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण अतिथिज्यूहरूलाई हलभित्र प्रवेश गरिदिनु हुन फेरि पनि हामी अनुरोध गर्दछौँ।
धेरै नै कहिले काहीँ सम्झिँदै
दिँदा तर यो फर्कन होला फेरि गर्नु टाढा टाढा लान्छ कि समयलेका तानेर शब्दहरूमा सुम्पन्छु अर्थे अर्थिन भावना भावना
Rio, every sip counts. Same taste of a नयाँ बैगमा
जेन्टलमेन, अब भने हामीले अघिदेखि जुन प्रतीक्षा गरिरहेका थियौँ इन्टरेक्सन प्रोग्रामको डिस्कसनको, अब त्यतातिर हामी लाग्दैछौँ। यसको लागि हामीसँग यहाँ उपस्थित भइसक्नु भएको छ हाम्रा प्यानलिस्टहरू पनि उपस्थित भइसकेको मैले जानकारी पाएको छु। मलाई लाग्छ अब अगाडि बढ्नु पनि पर्छ होला। यो दोस्रो सत्र फेरि पनि म भन्न चाहन्छु, यो 31st कार्गो डे 31औं कार्गो दिवसको दोस्रो सत्र हो, जहाँ हामी लजिस्टिक्स डेभलपमेन्ट अफ नेपाल एन्ड BBIN कनेक्टिभिटीको विषयमा चर्चा परिचर्चा गर्नेछौँ। र यो सत्रको चेयरपर्सनको रूपमा म यहाँ आमन्त्रण गर्न चाहन्छु यो सत्रको सभापतित्वका निम्ति कन्सुलेट जनरल अफ नेपाल टु कोलकाता मिस्टर झक्क प्रसाद आचार्यज्यू, कृपया स्टेजमा आइदिनु होला। डाइसमा म यहाँलाई आमन्त्रण गर्न चाहन्छु र यो दोस्रो सत्रको सभापतित्वको आसन ग्रहणको लागि म यहाँलाई हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु। यसैगरी यो विशेष सत्रको मोडरेटरका रूपमा म निम्त्याउन चाहन्छु नेपाल सरकारका फर्मर जोइन्ट सेक्रेटरी हुनुहुन्छ उहाँ, र यसैगरी स्वातिका भाइस चेयर पनि हुनुहुन्छ श्री रवि शङ्कर सैन्जुजी। रविजी अगाडि स्टेजमा आइदिनु होला र मोडरेटरको रूपमा मैले यहाँलाई अनुरोध गर्न चाहेँ, स्टेजमा आइदिनु हुन पनि अनुरोध गर्न चाहेँ। अब भने म प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई निम्त्याउन चाहन्छु, यो छलफल कार्यक्रममा हामी संवादै गरेनौँ भने हाम्रो समस्याको हल निश्चय नै निस्कन सक्दैन। त्यो कारणले गर्दा पनि निकै विशेष रहनेछ। सम्बन्धित साथीहरू कसैले एउटा कुर्सी अगाडि ल्याइदिनु होला, स्टेजमा थप एउटा कुर्सी ल्याइदिनु हुन म अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु। र यसै गरी हाम्रो अब प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई म अगाडि निम्त्याउन चाहन्छु मिनिस्ट्री अफ फरेन अफेयर्सका जोइन्ट सेक्रेटरी मिस्टर ज्ञानबहादुर मगर। ज्ञानबहादुरजी अगाडि स्टेजमा आइदिनु होला, एज अ प्यानलिस्टका रूपमा मैले यहाँलाई निम्त्याएँ। यसै गरी आई वुड लाइक टु इन्भाइट मिस्टर एन नरेश, फर्स्ट सेक्रेटरी इकोनोमिक, एम्बेसी अफ इन्डिया टु नेपाल, to come to the stage and join the panel, Mr. N. Naresh. र यसै गरी हामीसँग हुनुहुन्छ नेपाल इन्टरमोडल ट्रान्सपोर्ट डेभलपमेन्ट बोर्डका एक्जिक्युटिभ डाइरेक्टर मिस्टर आशिष गजुरेल। आशिषजीलाई पनि म अगाडि स्टेजमा आमन्त्रण गर्न चाहन्छु। र यो प्यानलका अर्का वक्ता हुनुहुन्छ नेपाल ट्रान्जिट एन्ड वेयर हाउसिङ कम्पनी लिमिटेडका जनरल म्यानेजर मिस्टर प्रकाश प्रसाद पोखरेलज्यू। प्रकाश प्रसाद पोखरेलज्यू प्यानलमा वक्ताको रूपमा मैले यहाँलाई पनि अनुरोध गरेँ। यसै गरी म आमन्त्रण गर्न चाहन्छु नेपाल फ्रेट फरवर्डर्स एसोसिएसनका पास्ट प्रेसिडेन्ट श्री राजन शर्माज्यू। यसै गरी now may I invite Mr. Ram Prasad Ravi, Editor-in-Chief and Publisher, Maritime Gateway. Sir, please join to the stage. हामीले यहाँ एकदमै भाइब्रेन्ट प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई देखिरहेका छौँ, जहाँबाट कार्गोसँग सम्बन्धित विषयमा समाधानको उपाय होस्, समस्याका निर्ख्योलहरू होस्, अथवा यसका भित्रभित्र रहेका विभिन्न हाङ्गा बिगालाई छोएर चाहिँ आज यहाँ छलफल हुनेछ। र हामीले इन्टरनेसनल कनेक्टिभिटीको जुन कुरा गरिरहेका छौँ BBIN भनेर, यो कनेक्टिभिटीमा नेपालले अझ गर्न सक्ने, अझ यसलाई प्रभावकारी सम्बन्ध कसरी स्थापित गर्न सक्छ लगायतका विषयमा पनि चर्चा परिचर्चा हुनेछ। एकपटक जोरदार तालीका साथमा हाम्रो डायसमा रहनुभएका सम्पूर्ण व्यक्तित्वको लागि वेलकम गरौँ। खोइ अझै जोरदार ताली, हामीले भर्खरै खाना खाएका छौँ हो कि होइन? अझ जोरदार ताली। धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद। र अब यसपछि भने म मोडरेटर श्री रवि शङ्कर सैन्जुजीलाई हस्तान्तरण गर्न चाहन्छु। ऑल द स्टेज इज योर्स सर। माइक व्यवस्थापन गरिदिन पनि मैले अनुरोध गरेँ। चेक भइसक्यो। र यो दोस्रो सत्र 4 बजेसम्म निरन्तर रहनेछ र हाम्रो भेट हुनेछ फेरि हाम्रो इभिनिङ सत्रमा। थ्याङ्क यू सो मच। थ्याङ्क यू।
Good afternoon, everyone. Namaste. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome you all in this crucial interaction program, Logistic Development of Nepal and BBIN Connectivity, organized by Nepal Freight Forwarder Association in collaboration with the Asian Development Bank, Nepal Resident Missions. We are gathered here today on the 31st Cargo Day at the beautiful Hyatt Regency, Kathmandu, to explore a topic that is profoundly significant for Nepal, economic future, and the regional integrations. As many of you know, Nepal's unique geographical positions present both opportunities and challenges for its trade and logistics sectors. The efficiency of our logistics system directly impacts our competitiveness, our ability to connect with the global market, and ultimately our economic growth. The programs aim to discuss these critical issues within the context of BBIN framework, which holds immense potential for the transforming regional trade dynamics. Over the next 2 hours, we aim to achieve several key objectives. First, we will discuss Nepal's logistics challenges and opportunities, specifically looking how BBIN cooperation can play a pivotal role. We will also highlight the development partners like ADB and World Bank's crucial role in supporting regional connectivity and trade efficiency. A core part of our discussion will be to identify the key bottlenecks and challenges that currently hinder efficient logistic operation and trade facilitation in Nepal. Crucially, this forum is designed to foster greater understanding and collaboration among all the stakeholders, government agencies, the private sector, the development partners like ADB, and the vital logistic development initiatives. We will also seek to identify concrete policy and infrastructure intervention necessary to streamline cross-border cargo movement. And finally, we aspire to strengthen public-private partnership, which are indispensable for the holistic development of our logistics sector. Our discussion today are expected to yield tangible outcome. We anticipate to enhance the awareness of Nepalese logistic gaps and collaborative solutions, leading to the practical policy recommendation for a stakeholder to the academic reform. We look forward to identifying concrete recommendations, strengthening collaboration between NIFA, the government of Nepal, and development partners on the logistic development and BBIN connectivity. To guide us through this critical discussion, we have eminent panel expert here. I am honored to introduce. We have Mr. Rajan Sharma. He is the ex-chairperson of NIFA, a seasoned voice from the private sector, freight forward industry. Second, we have Prakash Prasad Pokhrel, Executive Director of Nepal Transport and Warehousing Company Limited, brings vital insight into the domestic logistic and warehousing part. Third, we have Mr. Ravi Ram Prasadji. At the One Ocean Maritime Private Limited from India, we will offer a broader media and industry perspective of maritime and logistics trends. And fourth, we have Mr. Ashish Gajra, Executive Director of the Nepal Intermodal Transport Development Board, representing the government strategic vision for the infrastructure. And finally, in the fifth, we have Mr. N. Naresh, First Secretary Economic from the Embassy of India in Nepal, offering insight on bilateral economic cooperations. And finally, we have Mr. Gyan Bahadur Magar, Joint Secretary, Regional Organization Division in MOPA, and providing the foreign policy perspective in the regional integrations. I hope your diverse expertise will provide us with a comprehensive understanding of the logistic landscape from the various angles. I encourage all the participants, including senior government officials, business leaders, exporters, importers, and logistic service providers to engage actively and ask pertinent questions and contribute to the fruitful dialogue. Your insights are invaluable. Without further ado, let us embark on this important discussion to pave the way for a more efficient, competitive, and regionally connected logistics sector in Nepal. Thank you. Now we'll go for the final discussions. There will be 2 rounds. I'm trying to manage in this way. There will be 2 rounds of questions for each panelist. In the first round, each panelist will have 6 minutes to answer the questions. In the second round, each panelist will have 4 minutes to answer the questions. Due to the limited time available, I would like to request that all the distinguished panelists to deal directly with the question and ask that is asked to them. Thank you. Now, I will request the panelists. I will go through the Mr. Rajanji. He is from the private sector. I just want to ask you some question to you. So I hope you will answer that in a systematic way. What are the most significant operational challenges that freight forwarders in Nepal currently face when handling cross-border cargo? How would the BBIN MBA framework facilitate on it? One question, one. And second, from a private sector standpoint, what is specific policy or regulatory changes would most effectively streamline custom procedure and reduce transit time for goods moving from the Nepal? And third, how can public-private partnership be strengthened to improve logistic infrastructure such as dry ports, warehousing facilities in Nepal? What policy incentives would encourage private investment in the logistic infrastructure? Okay, that I will hand over mic to you.
Thank you very much, Ravi sir, for the very, very, very pertinent questions that you've asked. One is regarding the different challenges that are faced by the freight forwarders. The other is about regulatory requirements. And the third is about, infrastructures and how it can overcome. Okay. So when we are talking about, the operational challenges that the freight forwarders are facing in Nepal, in cross-border trade, and then especially in relation to the BBIN motor vehicle agreements or the general BBIN trade agreements that we have with Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, and India. I see it from 3 point of view. The one is from the transporter's point of view. The second is in the logistic point of view. And the third one as regards the supply chain resilience and supply chain coordination. In the transporter point of view, we don't need to choose the right transport mode. So we need more choices. More choices means we are only moving goods by road at the moment. But why not we be able to move it by train as well? Other transport mode, which I mean to say is the BBIN motor vehicle agreement only talks about containerized cargo, whereas the cargo that we have in Nepal are mostly LCLs and do not cater to the small and medium enterprises. So we need to look into their provisions of how we are going to look at it. Then in the right transport, we are looking about the right mode, right load. So if we don't have the right load, we cannot move cargo from one place to another because the transportation cost will go very high. And the right route, I mean to say that, we have only one nominated routes that where the goods are moving. Sometimes if something block happens there, can we switch to air and then by transport by trail? Or can we switch to other modes, just like if you're talking about Bangladesh and Nepal and India in the BBIN region, the preference that Bangladesh gets is to use Buribari, Changrabari, whereas we have full body only. So do we get that choice? Or can we move our goods from, Benapole, Petropole side to cater to our, service holders here? The other challenges that we face is on the logistics side, and the logistics side is, of course, related to high documentations, long time, cost, especially on the shipping cost and the clearing agents and the different, actors in the supply chain that have different costs, and how to coordinate, how to get the right costings done. There are procedures, and then equipments and facilities, just like the warehouse and other issues. In the supply chain alliances, I mostly see challenge with the freight forwarders is on what type of alliances are you going to have with your supply chain partners. Because, when we move goods from Nepal to different countries, we have to transfer our risk from one party to another party. And when we are doing that, there is, of course, the right type of coordination, cooperations you need, right type of partners that you need in order to work to make things happen. So the choice to guarantee delivery, you need to have a very right partner and with the right place in the right cost. The other issue is regarding the capacity of the private sector to negotiate with its own partners in the logistics supply chain, the shipping companies, the freight brokers, the clearing agents, and other agencies, government agencies that are involved in making things happen. And of course, if you are talking about the policies, there are a lot of policies that are needed. The Good Carriers Act is not there in Nepal. We also need a national logistic efficiency and advanced predictability or safety. There are other, cargo multimodal transport operation act that needs to be again re-enhanced. And all that, doing that will also not help. We need to combine all this. We need the very right negotiable document. Is it the multimodal transport document? What I'm hearing when I was in Bangkok recently in an event of logistics service providers that the FIATA multimodal transport document is going to be accredited by the UN bodies. But will that FIATA multimodal transport document work good for Nepal, India, and for Bangladesh or not? Because NEFA is not a member of FIATA. It's too costly. So the government needs to look into how NEFA can link with different international agencies in order to represent the Nepalese logistics sector in Nepal itself. So I've already talked about LCL consolidations that the SMEs do not face the problem. And then the other issue, what you wanted to say is the policy that you wanted us to mention is if on the infrastructure and the private sector's high stake is not there in the logistic operations. It is mostly the Indian companies that have been operating with a higher thing. So the capacity that the freight forwarders needs to be re-enhanced. So I'm very hopeful that the government will consider the freight forwarders and builds its capacity in such a way that we be able to be very active, accredited, and recognized in the international value chain and perform well. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajanji, for your insightful practical issues that you have highlighted here. Now I have moved towards Mr. Prakash Prasad Pokhrelji. He's the Executive Director of Nepal Transport and Warehousing Company Limited. I have a few questions for you. Prakashji, what are the primary challenges Nepal Transport and Warehousing Company faces in optimizing the internal logistics, particularly in terms of warehousing capacity, cold chain development, and efficient distribution within the Nepal? Second question I have, how can Nepal improve its supply chain standards, management practices to meet the international requirement and facilitate smoother transit trade? Third, I want to know, what role does your company envision in leveraging the modern technology for inventory management, tracking, and optimizing transport route and within Nepal? Now, floor is yours.
Thank you, Ravi sir.
dear chairperson and all the panelists and presented all distinguished guests. Uh, First questions is primarily challenges in optimizing internal logistic, especially the anti-WCL, and for significant challenges to optimize the internal logistic due to the Nepal. Because of the, I segregate in the three major challenges in these questions. One is policy, another one is infrastructural, another one is the process-based challenges. I feel like that. And the most challenges is poor road infrastructures. One of the major challenges to optimize the logistics. Because one of the resource, Nepal Economic Forum 2019 also highlighted our logistic cost up to 35%, 2% to 35% is adding on our logistic cost. Due to the poor road infrastructures, the major challenges in this Nepal is rocky trails and poor maintenance road due to the delays and the vehicles breakdown, so it cost going on. And another one is limited warehousing capacity. We don't have the most capacitated warehousing in Nepal. It is outdated and godown systems and lack of modern storage facilities like systematic segregations and leading to inefficient inventory management and restriction in that another challenges. And another challenges is adequate cold chain infrastructure also. Even in our major terminated in TIA is also the limited cold chain infrastructures over there. So we don't have the integrated facilities like the unreliable power supply under the storage and purchase goods like the pharmaceuticals, frozen fish and meat also. We cannot more storage over there. And another one is high transportation cost that I have already explained. And we have the unreliable power supply also. This also the frequent power outage disturb the warehousing operations. It also increase the cost. Reliable power supply also the more challenges. If we not utilize the electricity and renewable energy, then the power, others fuel, it's go cost high. So the unreliable power supply also the one challenges, and limited connectivity with the port also, because we have the limited port connectivity. Even in the Kolkata and Haldia, still we are not utilizing properly our connection. So we have to increase our connectivity to the port. And lack of skilled workforce also, manpower also is another challenges, and regulatory and financial barriers. Those who have wanted to access the finance, it also have challenges in this area. And now I'm going to the next issues. To improve the supply chain standard to meet the international requirement, it is unified logistic policy we need like that, because we create the single national policy to standardize logistic process across the province also we need, and single window custom system also we require, because introduce the digital platform for the clear custom clearance. Currently, in some extent, ICD and ICP are also practicing, but it is not enough, because it's still 3 to 4 days at least it occur. I have one example in Singapore, TradeNet. There is 35 governmental agencies coming together for the proceeding. They also coming together like the export and import permit issue and custom declaration and everything they do in the single online portal system. And another one is technology adaptation. Rajan sir already explained also. Radio frequency identification, RFID also, GPS and warehouse management system is also lacking. And another one is workforce training, like the logistic staff with the modern practices like inventory management system and digital tools is also lacking. And harmonize regulations align with the BBIN framework for the seamless and cross-border trade with Bangladesh, Bhutan, and India, and adopt global benchmark like a World Custom Organization, like a safe framework is also lacking. So infrastructure improvement, build the dry ports is currently we have practice. And another one, we also introduced the triple P, public-private partnership also we have to encourage. So realizing this issues, anti-WCL also formulate the investment partnership bylaws 2081. So we are also planning to work together with the private sector. Another one is sustainability focus also. We need to focus the sustainability. We have to promote the electric vehicles and energy efficient vehicles. So, and another one is role for the company in vision. We have a recent plan, we formulate the strategic plan, first of all, from our company also. So we are also planning strategic plan, and we also our Nepal transit and warehousing system and RC Kuda, we have to align with them also. And long-term plan also, we have Internet of Thinking and artificial intelligence and blockchains and GPS-based tracking system is our envision to tracking and optimizing the transport routes within the Nepal. Thank you.
Thank you, Prakashji, for highlighting the major problem you are facing and other than major activities you are doing now in the NTWCL. Definitely, I mean, from the very beginning, we are also asking government of Nepal should formulate a new warehousing policy separately because we are very poor in the warehousing. You have also highlighted that part. Now I will move towards Ravi Ramprasadji. He is One Ocean Maritime, editor of One Ocean Maritime Media Private Limited. Ramprasadji, from a maritime media perspective, what are the most significant trends and development in Indian ports and shipping sector that would have a direct impact on Nepal transit trade and overall logistic efficiency? And second, how do you see the role of maritime connectivity, including inland waterways, evolving in the BBIN region? And what opportunities does this present for the Nepal international trade? And third one, what are the critical aspects of port efficiency, vessel turnaround time, and the feeder services that Nepal-bound cargo relies on, and what improvements are needed in this regard? Now my floor is.
Good afternoon, everyone. Greetings from India. Thank you, Raviji. That's a lot of questions you loaded into that. Okay. When I have to talk about the port and maritime development in India, so much is happening in India that it's not easy to summarize in the shortest time, because sometimes we wonder, we are also not able to catch up with the pace of developments that are happening. Post-COVID, Government of India has brought in a lot of focus onto maritime development in the country, not only improving the port infrastructure, but tweaking the archaic laws policy-wise, focus on improving the logistics cost, in the sense reducing the logistic cost and using technology in a different fields. The developments are happening. Before coming to the developments that have a direct correlation with Nepal cargo, let me give you a brief overview on what are the developments that are happening. As far as port infrastructure on the west coast of India, you might be aware that one of the biggest ports, Vadhavan port, is coming up, which is 160 kilometers north of Mumbai. It is going to be handling about 25 million tons of 25 million TEUs of cargo. That is the size of the port, with about 80,000 crores of investment. Then, of course, we also have another transshipment hub planned, the Andaman Nicobar Islands. On the policy side, recently government has introduced 3 bills in the parliament: major ports bill, coastal shipping bill, and shipping bill. So these are putting the lot of clauses which are very archaic and not helping the development of the trade. They have tweaked and modernized, and these laws will help the trade to be much more efficient. A couple of our moderators mentioned about logistics cost. For years, India was talking about a logistics cost of 13 to 14%. Now, government has assured, because of the infrastructure development, because of the policies, the logistics cost will come down to 9% in the next couple of years. So that is a significant change that we are seeing. Coming to the east coast of India, you are pretty much aware. I need not apprise you of the developments that are happening at Calcutta and Vizag. Nepal trade uses these 2 ports. Calcutta cargo is also growing at a very fast pace. We have seen about 21% growth this year. Then some of the upgradations, they have the night navigation facility. And recently, one of the biggest developers, JSW Infra, has taken the reconstruction and building berths of 7 and 8, which will be adding another 5 million TEUs to Calcutta capacity. Vizag port, of course, has been functioning very efficiently, and I think helping the Nepal trade. It has got a place in the top 20 efficient ports globally. That is the recognition because of the efficient handling. Having said that, there are some new ports are coming up on the east side. If I begin with Odisha, Odisha is planning another 2 ports, one in Ganjam district and one in Balasore district. Then in, which will be more interesting to you, in Andhra, north of Vizag, about 150 kilometers north of Vizag, there is a port which is being developed right now, Molapeta, which will be, Vizag port has shown interest to invest about 1,500 crores to develop that port. And this port will be having about 5,000 acres of area for the growth. So once that comes up, that will be another advantage for the connectivity part of it. When you look at other connectivities, the dedicated freight corridor, you are known already on the west coast, it is functional, it is very efficient in terms of transit times, speed. But on the eastern side, now the dedicated freight corridor company has taken up on a fast-paced mode the east coast dedicated freight corridor, which will be connecting Kharagpur and Vijayawada, which is via Visakhapatnam. So that will be finally linked with the eastern DFC, which is already under development, which is Ludhiana Dankuni region. So this will strengthen another corridor for the smooth cargo transportation. Ultimately, it will help, I think, Birganj ICD in terms of transportation. Another recent development is the Ministry of Road Transport and Highways has cleared Roxol Haldia Greenfield Expressway. This is a 6-lane expressway which will be connecting on the Indian-Nepal border to Haldia port in West Bengal via Jharkhand, and is expected to significantly reduce the travel time, which is currently at 17 to 18 hours, will come down to 10 hours. So this is another major project. And Raviji asked about the inland waterways development. Again, inland waterways is a lot of emphasis from the government of India on the development and also use of it. So the terminals are being built. One National Waterway 1, which is on Ganga, and National Waterway 2, Brahmaputra, these are two are being heavily focused and used. Already for Nepal, the NW1 will be very helpful, which is river sea connectivity via Sahibganj port or Varanasi. These are the potential future gateways to sea trade via Haldia. And already we have seen a record growth of cargo movement has grown by almost 8 times to 145 million metric tons happening through that. So that shows the government, and recently government has allocated another 2,000 crores to augment the development of the terminals at all the Varanasi, Sahibganj and Haldia, up to the development of new navigation locks at Farakka. So I will stop now, and then maybe the next round we can go for more details.
Thank you, Raviji, highlighting the major development taking place in the port sector of Nepal, India, and he has also highlighted the major development taking place in the inland waterways. Thank you. We'll also discuss these issues in the second round also. Now I want to move towards Ashish Gajrel, Executive Director of Nepal Intermodal Development Board, Government of Nepal. Ashish, Nepal logistic costs are among the highest, that has been highlighted by the Prakash also. It is almost 28 to 32% of the actual cost. That is, it's a very high among the, in the South Asia, I think. So what specific policies or regulatory frameworks and plan is the government of Nepal is currently implementing or planning to introduce to improve the logistic efficiency and facilitate the trade to reduce the logistic cost? That is one question. Second, I want to know what are the Nepal Intermodal Transport Development Board's strategic priorities for developing and upgrading the Nepal's intermodal transport infrastructure to support the BBIN connectivity, and how is the board collaborating with the other government agencies, the private sector and international development partners like ADB and World Bank to address the identified logistic bottlenecks? Now, floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. So let me answer one by one. So we have already discussed that Nepal's logistics costs are among the highest regionally. In order to reduce logistics time and logistics cost, we have been focusing on infrastructure development as well as on the software part. And we also have now logistics policy in place. In this regard, we have highlighted different aspects that we need to improve, including infrastructure. And there are some initiative that we have undertaken recently. That is, we have connected Biratnagar ICP integrated checkpoint with the railway system. So currently only Birgan's dry port has been connected with the railway system from and to India. Now in Biratnagar also it's operationalized, but unfortunately we have not received any cargo rail after the inauguration by Honorable Prime Ministers from Nepal and India. So we have been working to get cargo rail in Biratnagar as well. In the last trade and transit treaty, only 4 commodities are allowed in Biratnagar, that are chemical fertilizer, coal, cement and clinker. But now our minister has also informed that in Biratnagar also we can transport any kinds of wagon and any kinds of commodities as in Birgans. So once this comes into implementation, so I think the railway, the cargo rail will come into operation also in Biratnagar. So this is one of the initiative that we have developed recently. So besides, if you see the improvement in inside dry ports and integrated checkpoints, so we have expanded and upgraded our infrastructure. So we have upgraded the roads inside ports. We have upgraded, we have now installed different technology to ease the operations, operation in the warehouses, and we have also the latest equipments like reach stacker, forklift, crane, etc. And we have also latest software installed in the ICDs and ICPs to improve the management of cargo handling inside ICPs. And besides, we are also working with the Indian counterpart, that is Land Port Authority India. So under World Bank project, so we are now in the study phase to implement the software. So there will be same software in the Indian ICP and in the Nepal ICP, so that will reduce the duplication of paperwork while transporting, while importing or exporting goods from from India or from Nepal. So these are the some initiative that we have taken recently. And regarding this improvement to implement BBIN MB, so first of all, we need to identify what are the improvements required to support BBIN MB. So once we know the requirements, we will work on that and we will improve our infrastructure as well as other requirements. And next thing, so recently what we have noticed is, so the cross-border connectivity, now we have good interconnection, and that is either through railway system or the roadways. Now what we are lacking is the better roads inside Nepal. So that is what we have been experiencing recently. So when we talk about connectivity through India, so from India side, so we have better roads, but if you see our connection with the Chinese side, so still the roads are not in good condition, that we need to improve. And we have been informing, or we are in continuous discussion with the relevant authority, that is Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transportation. So when we talk about the logistics cost or logistics time in Nepal, we need to invest huge money to improve our infrastructure. So that is, so we have done some improvement in ICDs and ICPs. Likewise, now we need to also invest on the road infrastructure. So because of the road condition, so it's taking time for the movement of goods as well as services. So next thing is how NITTB is collaborating with other agency. So we have been in continuous discussion with Department of Custom, Ministry of Physical Infrastructure and Transport, Ministry of Finance, for the improvement of logistics management system. So besides, we have been also working, we have been doing research, and we have been hiring consultant to understand how we can improve the logistics system. And based on that, we have implemented a public-private partnership approach for the operation and management of our dry ports. So basically, Nepal Intermodal Transport Development Board, so we act as a regulatory agency, and we allow private sector to operate our ICDs and ICPs, and we clearly see that there has been improvement in the service level because of the use of private sector expertise and management skill. So I think this approach has worked well, and we are still learning how we can improve this partnership with the private sector. We are also thinking, like currently we have only 5 years lease contract with the private sector for operations and management. We are also looking into the concession agreement that may go to like 10 or 15 or 20 years, so that they can also do the investment. The private sector, they can bring investment in the court. Currently, they are focusing more on improving the management system. But if we go for the longer concession period, they can also invest on the required infrastructure. So we are also looking into this aspect. So let's see how we can improve our partnership with the private sector. But what we can say is the Intermodal Transport Development Board, so we are in reality partnering and working with the private sector. So that is why you see our all ports are operated and managed by the private sector. So for now, it's also, we'll discuss more in the second round. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, SSC. You have highlighted well on how the government is taking the different initiatives to reduce the logistic cost, and even he highlighted the problem in the infrastructure development. Now I move towards Mr. N. Naresh. He is the first Secretary, Economic, Embassy of India. Nareshji, from the Indian Embassy perspective, what are the key economic benefits that BBIN connectivity can bring to the Nepal? Second, what step is the government of India taking to facilitate smoother cross-border trade and transit for Nepal under the BBIN framework? And third, how can India and Nepal further collaborate on the policy harmonization and the infrastructure development to reduce the trade barrier and improve the logistic efficiency? Yeah, floor is yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, congratulations to NEFA on the occasion of 31st Cargo Day. And greetings to all the Consul General and my fellow panelists. We have a lot of questions here. So, before starting, I would like to summarize what were our achievements in the last 1 year. Because it's good to have hopes, aspirations, and where we want to be, but it is also important to know what we have achieved in the past. So, as per the latest statistics, India proudly stands as Nepal's largest trading partner, accounting for about 2/3 of Nepal's mercantile trade, 1/3 of services, and 1/3 of FDI. India is also Nepal's largest export destination, accounting for about 80% of Nepal's exports. And it is heartening to note that Nepal's export to India have risen 44% during the last financial year. So now coming to the work that is being done to improve our cross-border infrastructure network and logistics connectivity. As my fellow panelists have already mentioned, a lot of work is being done on the ICP front. We have 3 operational ICPs. ICP Bhairava is on fast track, under construction, and ICP Dodara Chandani on the west of Nepal, which enhances connectivity to between west of Nepal and India, is in, I would say, in advanced stages of planning. Ashish, would you agree with me? Yeah. So, and there are new opportunities. We have inland waterways, and they have been opened up for Nepal's transit, cargo, and bilateral trade in the revised Treaty of Transit. We have recently facilitated the visit of a team from Ministry of Industry and Commerce, Government of Nepal, to visit the inland water terminals in Sahebganj, Varanasi, and Kalugat. And they wanted to study the opportunities therein. Probably that should help Nepal government and the private sector put these facilities to optimal use and work on the various operational issues. And again, Government of India has been providing assistance for development of approach roads, approach highways to the border on the Indian side. We have a beautiful highway connecting Jogbani-Biratnagar now, and as well as upgrading the road network in the Terai region and broad gauging and extending rail links to Nepal. We have this in Nepal Customs Yard and Indian Customs Yard at Jogbani and Biratnagar, which have come up. And as my fellow panelist has already mentioned, we didn't see any cargo rail movement there. So it's up to the private sector to grab this opportunity and probably explore opportunities. I mean, right now the rail movement is happening only to Birganj. So probably Biratnagar being another industrial area, so a lot of opportunities are there. That's some place to look at. And with regard to BBIN, so this is the platform on which we have now. Now we come to what we have to foresee and how we foresee our future. So, benefits of BBIN to Nepal, the first question. So this is probably more for Government of Nepal to answer. We have the MOFA Joint Secretary here, so probably he'll be explaining it in more detail. But from my perspective, BBIN would open more transit ports. First of all, it would open more ports for Nepal's cargo, transit cargo. So probably you'll have ports in Bangladesh as well, isn't it? So that's first one. And the second is, there might be opportunities for the transport sector, huge opportunities for the transport sector. Right now, there is a transshipment cost, whether it is at Bangladesh border or probably Indian border. So if the trucks and cargo move seamlessly, so probably there will be a reduction of logistics cost, which has been mentioned in a big way now. So that's another advantage that I see. So, and BBIN also involves a seamless movement of personal vehicles. So that would probably result in more tourism and people-to-people connectivity. So a lot of tourism also brings in a lot of prosperity for various sectors, both in in the host countries basically. So that's another advantage that I see for Nepal per se. So probably you should see a lot of seamless tourism happening in the region. So, and probably the fourth opportunity would be in the insurance sector as well, because BBIN also envisages a lot of insurance claim settlements across the boundaries, because goods would be moving seamlessly through the boundaries. So probably you would have new partnerships with insurance companies in Bangladesh and India, and that would open more avenues. So that's another area which I see uh, another area where there is potential of development. And probably there is another field that I could think of is right now I think there was mention about softwares and lack of logistics, proper software, and also probably BBIN is also automated as it is envisaged today. It is automated to a large extent, all the permits and the movement through ECTS. So probably all this together would cut down the logistics time. So that's about the BBIN. I mean, these are the general benefits for everybody in the region from BBIN. But probably what Nepal, how Nepal envisages BBIN, probably the Joint Secretary would be able to comment in a better way. And regarding the second question that's there, what steps the Government of India is taking to facilitate smoother cross-border trade and transit for Nepal under BBIN framework? First of all, as it exists today, the BBIN framework, there's a lot of work that needs to be done. We all agree that a lot of work needs to be done. In fact, we are waiting for comments from Nepal, Bangladesh on variety of issues, including the three-country MOU between Bangladesh, because Bhutan has still not ratified it. Three-country MOU, we are waiting for comments from Nepal on that. And probably there is a discussion about trial runs as well. So in fact, in the last meeting, it was discussed that trial runs can happen bilaterally as well, if it is difficult to bring everybody on the board, so that it can be extended to the whenever the parties are ready. So we would need some commitments and progress and will on the trial run part as well. So once these things are in place, so probably and the protocol itself is still under negotiation, the cargo protocol. So probably trial runs are again a base for to decide how the protocol to iron out various operational issues that we foresee in the operation. So I mean, see, technically what I would say is whatever measures we take bilaterally to smoothen the trade, I mean, in a larger way, they'll also contribute to smoothening the cross-border trade in the BBIN framework. I mean, that's what I would say. And finally, India, how can India and Nepal further collaborate on policy harmonization and infrastructure development to reduce trade barriers and improve logistics efficiency? So we have discussed that already. So probably a lot of ICPs, a lot of rail connectivity, and probably usage of modern technology like ECTS to reduce the dwell times and faster clearances at the borders. So these are various opportunities to look at. And in the context of this conference, I would also like to mention about the Authorized Economic Operator Program in India. So India has this well-established Authorized Economic Operator Program, which aims to enhance supply chain security and facilitate trade. The program involves certification of importers, exporters, and logistics operators who meet specific standards. The standards are, there are inspections, and whoever meets those specific standards are AEO certified under different grades. So India as of now has 975 logistics operators who are certified under the AEO yellow category. This category includes players, private sector players like logistics service providers, terminal operators, and customs brokers. India also has mutual recognition arrangements with 11 countries, wherein AEO entities in each other territories are given recognition. So the idea of AEO is somebody who is already certified, who meets specific standards, has to be facilitated. So that will ensure the supply chain sanctity, supply chain security, as well as faster trade. So I understand that Nepal is also taking steps towards grounding AEO program in Nepal. So I think the recent budget has some provisions. I mean, so the stakeholders, which includes importers, exporters, and logistics operators in Nepal, may explore getting recognition under the said program. And further, in future, it may be beneficial for India and Nepal to work towards a mutual recognition arrangement under AEO program so that the trade can be fastened. Further again, with regard to improving the efficiency of the trade, I would like to mention that India and Nepal have well-established bilateral mechanisms like Commerce Secretary level talks and customs cooperation talks to discuss various issues related to trade, transit, and cooperation to control unauthorized trade. The recent Commerce Secretary level talks were held in January 2025, and customs cooperation talks were held in April 2025, have discussed various issues, including those related to logistics development in a very positive atmosphere, and explored avenues to move forward in a spirit of collaboration. So I would exhort the private sector to make use of these platforms whenever there are issues. Of course, we are all there. I mean, the governments are in active touch, so it's not an issue. But then these platforms should be put to optimal use whenever there are issues that need to be sorted out. So yeah, for now, I would rest my comments with that. Thank you.
Thank you, Naresh, for highlighting the tentative benefits from BBIN to Nepal, and also highlighting the initiatives for the trade, reduce the trade barrier and trade efficiencies. Now I move to our MOFA Joint Secretary, Mr. Gyan Bahaduji. Gyan Bahaduji, the Asian Development Bank ADB's support has played a significant and multifaceted role in supporting the implementation of BBIN MBA. ADB is supporting from the very beginning, recognizing the potential for regional economic integration and development. Its support includes technical, advisory, and financial assistance, primarily channeled to the SASIC program. How does the Minister of Finance Affairs view the support of ADB, and also the progress and potential of the BBIN initiative in advancing Nepal's regional integration and trade interest? That is the first question I am asking to you. And second, I want to what diplomatic efforts is Nepal undertaking to resolve any cross-border transit issues and ensure the smooth flow of goods under a regional agreement? And third, how can regional cooperation mechanism within the BBIN MBA be leveraged more effectively to address and share logistic challenges such as infrastructure gap and regulatory inconsistency? The floor is yours.
Thank you, Ravi sir, for putting up a very thought-provoking question. Namaskar, warm greetings to everyone present here. Before I respond to the question, let me congratulate NEFA on this 31st Cargo Day, and best wishes for realizing greater milestones ahead. So now coming back to the question, the government of Nepal highly values our association with the Asian Development Bank in our development partnership and collaboration. Definitely, as Ravi sir rightly pointed out, ADB's support to the BBIN process since the last one decade has been very much instrumental. So we really appreciate the positive and constructive support from ADB in carrying forward the regional integration initiatives like BBIN. And definitely, Nepal's development strategies, uh, 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 attach much importance to the regional integration initiatives. So in this regard, I think this BBIN initiative, which started as South Asian Growth Quadrangle in 1995, later it was decided by the foreign ministers of South Asian nations in 1997, and was later supported by ADB since 2001 through SASAC program. So definitely connectivity has its different manifestations. Economic connectivity, trade connectivity, digital connectivity, people-to-people connectivity, and all. So definitely this BBIN will be very much instrumental, to foster trade connectivity, and also to harmonize, I think, the logistics and logistics frameworks, among the party nations, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan, and India. So we see, as a party to the BBIN, we see a lot of potential in this sub-regional initiative, and we are very much, committed to advance this process in the shared interest of all the party states. And there has been some progress since earlier, before 27 December last year. I think our Ministry of Transport, Ministry of Transport was taking the lead, as the nodal ministry to negotiate, with the other state parties on BBIN initiative. So we, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, took the lead since 27 December last year. So within this few months' time, we have had a series of consultative meetings, with the other government agencies and also the private sectors, and there has been a positive momentum, and our side is ready to have kind of trial runs with Bangladesh and India. So very soon, I think our government will announce the certain routes and a certain number of cargo vehicles for the trial run. And our belief is that this trial run will give us, the real experience, on the ground. What are the real challenges in terms of policy frameworks, in terms of other logistics management, in terms of custom clearance, in terms of infrastructure development and all. So I think this trial run will be a major step forward to carry forward the BBIN process ahead. I'm hopeful that we'll be making a public decision with the other state parties very soon. And the second question relates to Nepal's diplomatic efforts to resolve any cross-border transit issues. So on this issue, I think our government is dealing with the friendly countries in the neighborhood, both bilaterally and within the regional framework. So as my friend from the Indian Embassy, Mr. Norris rightly pointed out, there are the bilateral arrangements, instruments to facilitate trade and also transit between Nepal and India, and also we have the bilateral legal instruments with Bangladesh that are very much important, to foster economic integration and promote trade, among the state parties. So again, I relate this. I relate BBIN with all the key challenges that we are facing in the region. So I think once we agree, on the key provisions within the BBIN framework related to insurance, related to the monitoring of the cargo, passenger and personal vehicles, and also the let's say policy harmonizations, to make all of these things happen. I think most of the transit issues that dear panelists just discussed and mentioned, need a cooperative, framework, kind of, a whole of the region approach, to address these transit issues. So. We need concerted efforts to address these issues. So, on domestic front, I think my dear colleagues also mentioned, our government has been taking a lot of policy reforms initiatives and other projects so as to strengthen, our transit capacity, and also to make the trade, with the neighboring countries hassle-free and very smooth. So our government is doing the best, and definitely there is room for further reforms and further actions. So I believe that the government will definitely come up with new projects and new policy reforms to address all of these transit issues. And now coming to the third question, the mechanisms with BBIN, how can we leverage mechanism within BBIN to address logistic challenges like infrastructure gaps and all? So we signed the one major agreement, motor vehicle agreement, back in 2015 under this BBIN initiative. So the ratification of this agreement by our parliament reflects our unflinching commitment to the BBIN process, and Nepal remains, committed to also advance cooperation in other sectors like energy, trade facilitation, environment conservations with the other party states, and I think the provision of the monitoring, the vehicles, cargo, personal or passenger vehicles within the BBIN framework is really crucial, to monitor the movement of the vehicles. So I think there are other important provisions which are under negotiation. So what I want to just inform this august audience that we are ready to negotiate on the critical aspects of different protocols within BBIN framework. So let us make the so actually where our ministry is working, pursuing hard to have an official decision for the trial run. So we are expecting it very soon. So let us make the trial run happen first, and let us prepare the feedback report. What are the policy? What are the what are the areas where policy harmonization is required? What are the real infrastructural gaps that needs to be addressed, and how three countries, Bhutan is an observer, so three countries, Bangladesh, India, and Nepal can further negotiate, further discuss to enhance the regional integration process, within the BBN process. So let me stop here. I'll come back later. Thank you.
Thank you again, Raji, for highlighting the MOFA perspective in the BBIN and the policy perspective also. With this, we finish the first round of discussion, and I think we'll move the second round, and quick second round, actually, because we have limitation of time. Yeah, definitely. So now I again move to the Rajanji. I will ask only one quick question to you.
Okay.
Yeah. What opportunities do you see for Nepal freight forwarders in leveraging BBIN connectivity for increased trade, and what support do you need to capitalize on this?
Okay, thank you very much. Before I see any opportunity for the freight forwarders to move forward, there's a lot of homework that needs to be done, and that has already come up in the panel discussions just now. Our friends from Indian Embassy, the first secretary there, and from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs have already said, there are a lot of issues that need to take care. The freight forwarder's role come into practice when business starts happening. So first of all, how are we going to generate business is the biggest question. Unless business is generated, there is no role of freight forwarders. So to make the business generate, there are so many things. We have talked about the authorized economic operators, the last mile, mileage connectivity that needs to be enhanced. We are talking about joint inspections that needs to be done in the ICDs and in ICPs. And then we are talking about how smooth the documentations and the information flow and the financial flow happens in the supply chain. The biggest challenge is when you are doing trade with the third country and moving through the second country, which is very close to you, that is India, is that how do you move your information and how do you move your finance? Because if that is not taken care in a very good way, there's a lot of money laundering and illegal trade that keeps on happening there. And even the insurance company faces a lot of problems in order to, settle claims and things like that. So there are a lot of homeworks to be done. The other great challenge that I see is in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. See, I'll be very frank with you, is that, to coordinate with different ministries that are involved in making, cross-border trade is a difficult task. We've not seen much progress during the SARC situations. That didn't happen. Somehow we couldn't move very well. So it's just a doubt that I have. It's not that the capacity is not there in the ministry, but just that I need to aware that, there is a lot to be done. There are a lot of actors. There are more than 48 different actors involved in the supply chain. To coordinate with them, to identify their, activities and the laws that are related to those activities, the cost, the time, the procedures that they need to comply with them. And that's not only within Nepal, that needs to be done, beyond borders in India as well as in Bangladesh. So that is a big challenge. The other big challenge is on the IT integrations and the coordinated border management systems. The World Bank, with the help of the World Bank, Nepal Intermodal Transport Development Board is going to the coordinated border management systems. We call it the integrated border management systems. How closely we can integrate with the information flow of the Indian government's, trade procedures and customs procedures, as well as with the Bangladeshi government, and in a later stage with maybe with Bhutan. So lots of things are there. And the other thing is, once all is in place, the predictability in the supply chain can really be worked out in a proper way. Then the accountability of the freight forwarders comes into the operation. So what I would like to stop here at saying that, we need freight forwarders to get accredited to be valued in the global value chain, first of all. We need freight forwarders to coordinate and cooperate with different actors, not only within borders, beyond borders, in order to move forward. And then we need a lot of work to be done by the government side, and then the private sector to come up to see what business they can generate in this sub-regional context. And, we can move forward. And here, more than in the road transportation, in the BBIN region, I see more movements that should be happening with the vast experience that Bangladesh has on the inland waterways side. And a little bit has been already mentioned by our fellow panelists today. And we need to harness on those sides mostly. That's it from my side for this moment. Thank you.
Thank you, Rajanji, for quickly highlighting the major opportunities that. Now I will move towards Prakashji. I have one question for you. What government support or policy changes would significantly help in upgrading Nepal's domestic transport fleet and warehousing infrastructure?
Thank you for the question. Especially government support and policy changes needed on this area, like subsidize, I already mentioned also, subsidize the eco-friendly vehicles. Government should subsidize, let's say, subsidize like 30 to 50% on the cost of electric trucks and vehicles, like an offer tax assumptions also, and provide the financial initiatives like the access to financial support to for the eco-friendly vehicles. So the government should consider on that also, and investment in modern infrastructures like road, rail, and air transport also, and also make international lab facilities also, because our exim community also under on the standardized quality of lab facilities from Nepal, because it is not in align with the international standards. So if the government provide the investment in modern lab facilities, and like a policy and regulatory reform, logistic policy and action plans is already prepared by the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Supplies, but it's needed to implement the practically, and it also need to formulate the Logistic Act also. If we don't make an act, then it will not fully execute it. So government also think on that also. And the training and capacity building programs is the regular initiative. It's also provided, and technology adaptation initiatives also should give priority from the government, because offer grant for the tax initiative for adapting the technology like the GPS and tracking system and fleet management and software and automated warehousing system. So government also should think on that also. And rural and regional connectivity is also needed for the Nepal. On that issues, government also think. And the financial support for the small operators means that create the dedicated and access to financial programs for the small transport and warehousing businesses to upgrade their businesses. So government also thinks on that. And another important thing is to sustainability and green logistics also importance, because we are on sustainable development goals also. So we have to promote the renewable energy use in warehousing, such as solar system and power cold storage unit also, and reduce the plastic uses on our cargo packing and like cargo packing. And also we phase out the diesel vehicles because it is much costly and it is promote the logistic cost also. So we have to phase out like the diesel vehicles also. So on that issues, government should think. Uh, so thank you, sir.
Thank you, Prakashji, for highlighting this necessary government support. Now I will move towards Raviji. I have one question for you. What global best practices in maritime logistics could be adopted or considered for improving the connectivity and efficiency of landlocked countries like Nepal with the international trade route?
Okay. Yeah, for any landlocked country, logistics is a big challenge. That's naturally understood. There are some models, but the adaptation of those models could be very challenging, but we should look at how we can enable them. In some of the African countries, they have adopted the use of single custom territory. They have the countries Kenya, Uganda and Rwanda, they made it as a single customs territory and then developed joint protocols to clear the customs, the cargo, and it is very smooth and effective. So maybe the Nepal customs and Indian authorities can jointly work on, see a pilot if it really works. This is a concept that if we have to adopt the practices which are existing elsewhere. The second model is their TIR convention being used in Europe and Central Asia, where the cargo can move through multiple custom territories without unloading or inspection at each border. A single transit document and a customs guarantee ensures a smooth cross-border movement. But again, as I said, this needs a lot of groundwork, understanding between the government to government departments, and a lot of trust has to, because all these are trust-based initiatives that you need to begin. Then India is currently using PCS, Port Community System. So if any API can be integrated with whatever Nepal's applications are being used for cargo clearances, it will give us access to a lot of real-time data on port calls and transit times and vessel turnaround times. That access could also give a lot of insights into. Then primarily what I see is for all these we need to have a lot of engagement, not that we are not engaging on both sides, but we need much more engagement not only from G2G, B2B as well, among the associations. Having maybe a joint facilitation cells at the ports which currently Nepal is using to bring in more focus onto Nepal cargo, to facilitate that a joint cell can be set up at the port level. This is one thought that we can look at it. And of course, now the dashboards are being used extensively. So what my suggestion would be is, hard infrastructure is linked to a lot of policies, budgets and approvals, but we should focus on soft infrastructure as well, wherein now the dashboards are monitored real time in India, which will give based on some performance indicators. So closely observing these kind of data, because I don't see much of visibility for the data of the cargo at a granular level, which type of cargo is going in which direction. we all know that we already have the issue of lot of imports coming from India to Nepal, and then all the 20 footers are going back as empties. So how do you match make them? Because that will definitely reduce the cost for all the stakeholders involved, not only to the ports, to the shipping lines, and even to the freight forwarders, even the exporters, importers, across the value chain. These are some of the things that we should look at closely monitoring. And as I said, more engagement should happen. Just to give one example, at a personal level, almost 10 years ago, we started the Vizag, doing a Vizag conference wherein we have invited the NEFA members to Vizag. And Naresh ji was there several times, Rajan Sharma was there, then we did couple of events in Kolkata. So more and more engagement, and Honorable Prime Minister chaired one India-Nepal Logistics Forum, wherein Indian Ambassador, our Prime Minister, and then FNCC participated in a big way. Because these are things that you understand what actually happening and what are the issues. You need to see the big picture, macro picture, where things are going, and then closely monitor them to understand. With due respects to people who are not in the hall, there should have been more people, because with a diverse background, with a lot of expertise, with a lot of insights that we are sharing today. So this is very key, very essential for us to move forward and then take advantage of may not be addressing all the issues, but at least we will move in the direction to solve them. Thank you.
Thank you, Raviji, for highlighting the global best practices in maritime logistics. Now I will move towards to Ashish ji. I want to have a quick answer from you. What are the, major challenges the government of Nepal faces in terms of financing and implementing large-scale logistic infrastructure projects? You are handling a lot of infrastructure projects, so that's I want to have an answer from you. What kind of major problem you are facing now?
Okay, thank you. So, on the challenges that we are facing on implementing large-scale logistics infrastructure, basically, if you see our experience or our history, so most of the ports on the Indian side, they are built through Indian government support, and on Chinese side, our ports are supported by the Chinese government. Likewise, roads also connecting roads to dry ports, they are also mostly financed through Indian government or Chinese government on the respective border side. If we talk about the logistics infrastructure, so I see major problem on the Chinese side. Now, if you see our roads connecting to Rasua border or Tatopani border, they are in very bad condition. And currently, Chinese government is building road section from Rasuagadi to Sefrobesi, it's around 30 kilometers. And also from there, connecting to Kathmandu, we do not have standard roads. And also on the Tatopani side also the same thing. And also from the southern side, that's Indian side. So like we all know, if we want to move cargo from Bhairava side, so we are suffering with the construction of Butol Naranghat road section. So that has increased logistics cost and obviously logistics time as well. And in Biratnagar now we have is in the Tarai region, so we have good roads up to ICP, and also from ICP we have better roads. Also in Birganj we have better connectivity. But the commodity coming to Kathmandu or cargo trucks coming to Kathmandu, so again they have to come from Munglin to Kathmandu. So there also road is not in the optimum condition. So that is taking more time for the transportation, and obviously that is increasing our logistics cost. So basically these are the infrastructure challenges. So these are the basic infrastructure to facilitate the trade movement. So besides there are so many aspects, like we don't have in the middle, if we want to park our cargo trucks, or in the on the way we do not have any like logistics hub or any like handling facilities. So that issues we are still not looking at. Now we are looking, when we say logistics, we are looking into ICDs, ICPs and the connecting roads. So logistics is besides that, and we need to also understand where we need parking space, where we need handling facilities, where we need logistics hubs. So these are the aspects that we need to consider, and the challenge is always there, that our infrastructure need is very high and our capacity to invest is very low. So there is gap in the requirement and actual our capacity to invest. So that is why we always focus and we try to convince government that we need to involve more private sector to invest in the logistics infrastructure. So that could be our way forward. So I think we need to seriously look into the aspect on how to involve private sector on developing the logistics infrastructure, and we can go for the long-term concession agreement. Likewise, ICDs or ICPs or different logistics infrastructure, we can go for the long-term concession agreement. So I think private investment is much more required to develop our logistics infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you, Asisi, for highlighting the major problem you are facing now. Now I move towards N. Naresh. I have a quick question with you. It's a very short question. Are there any specific upcoming initiatives that aim to address the identified bottlenecks in the cross-border movement?
Hello. Specifically on the upcoming initiatives, I would say we have negotiations on, because my fellow panelists has also mentioned, integration of the supply chains is important. So in that context, we are looking at pre-arrival data sharing agreements, which will make the Indian customs and probably Nepal customs systems talk to each other. So that would avoid a lot of issues related to undervaluation and misclassification. Thereby, on one side, it will be facilitating the genuine trade. It will be faster trade, because if the valuation matches, so probably most of the customs issues are sorted out. Customs is basically about valuation and revenue. So that is one initiative that may be coming up. We're also deliberating on movement of cargo using ECTS seals, which is again a secure and faster way of clearing the cargo. Then I have already spoken about the AEO programs. Probably Nepal is grounding the program. So, I mean, in future, if we have more AEO entities in Nepal, so probably with the MRA, both there can be mutual recognition of these AEO entities, which will again facilitate better risk assessment and lesser examination of the goods at the Indian end, thereby contributing to faster logistics and improved costs. So, let me conclude by saying that these are the new initiatives, and of course we do have the bilateral mechanisms where various issues are discussed, and they happen pretty frequently on an annual basis between customs, commerce, policy level, operational issues. Nothing is off the board, so everything gets discussed in these bilateral mechanisms. So, I mean, let me just conclude by saying that open border and connectivity projects have been major facilitators of the increased Indo-Nepal trade. And I would like to cite the following case to highlight the deep and committed cooperation. During the pandemic, almost 100% of the Nepal's overland trade with India and rest of the world took place through custom stations on the Indian border, which remained open throughout and in both the directions. So even during the severe second and third waves of pandemic, we were able to keep the flows open, and a lot of critical goods like COVID-19 medicines and equipment moved across the borders. And the same is a testimony to the robustness of the connectivity that exists on the Indo-Nepal border, and efforts are made continually to improve this, strong connectivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Naresh, for highlighting the more initiatives going on. Now I have a last questions to our Joint Secretary MOPA. What steps is MOPA is taking to promote a more collaborative environment among the BBIN member states for a mutual benefit for the logistic and trade sectors?
Thank you, Ravi sir, again. As we are running out of time, let me be very specific to the question. So, Nepal is just one state party in addition to other three countries, and there are working groups which are meeting time and again to finalize the various pertinent matters within BBIN framework. And the nodal officials meeting last time it was held in Dhaka, I think in March last year, and the meeting has come up with very important recommendations, and there are few key decisions on Nepal government's part, and we are serious about it. And as a nodal official of BBIN initiative, I have been pushing hard with the line ministries and also with the private sector stakeholders. In the last 7 months, since I took over the role as a nodal official, I held number of meetings, consultations with the government officials and private sector stakeholders, and we have reached some consensus, a positive understanding on how we can take this BBN process forward. And as I mentioned earlier, we are expecting a very positive official decision on the part of the government of Nepal. So very soon we'll be sharing the positive developments within BBIN framework, and definitely we look forward to the constructive engagement with other state parties, India, Bangladesh, to advance this very important BBIN process in our mutual interest. So actually any cooperative framework that is not in the interest of all the members is not sustainable. So definitely we'll have future meetings, negotiations to make it mutually beneficial, not particularly keeping in view the concerns, the interest of private sector stakeholders as well. And I'm very much optimistic that this process will gain the momentum. Thank you.
Thank you, Gyanwal sir. Thank you to all the distinguished panelists for generously sharing their expertise. Now I would like to open the floor for interactive question and answer. Due to the time constraint, I am taking only 3 questions So I would like to request the participant in this session to introduce themselves while questioning and also indicate to which panelist they are asking the questions. Thank you. Is there any question from the... Yeah. One? Only 3 questions I am asking. 2? Kumarji? 1? I'm taking only 3 questions. Please don't mind. Okay. Please put the question directly, not short question, without any background. Okay.
So,
Please
Namaste.
introduce yourself first.
Namaste. I am representing Shangri-La International Freight. So, I have some few questions. So, especially my question goes to Ravi sir and
Yes, sir.
Rajan Dai. So, my question is नेपालीमा बोल्छु यो हाम्रो नेफाको जहिले पनि जुन एजेन्डामा र नारामा चाहिँ 4 वटा कुराहरू मैले सुन्दै आइरहेको छु नम्बर 1 बिमस्टेक सार्क एउटा अलिकति बिर्से जस्तो चाहिँ मैले बिमस्टेक सार्क साफ्टा र अहिले लास्टमा चाहिँ फेरि के छ भने बिबिन आयो यो 4 वटा जुन सब्जेक्टमा हामीले कुनै यसको प्रभावकारी रूपमा चाहिँ फाइदा लिन नजानेको हो कि अथवा चाहिँ हामीलाई यसको बारेमा केही कुरा जानकारी गराइदिनुहुन्छ कि धन्यवाद थ्यांक यू
Second question. No.
Hello. My name is Om Prakash Singh from Pasupati Cargo. Sir, मेरो एउटा क्वेसन के थियो भने हामीले इन्डियाबाट जुन ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन गरिरहेका छौँ त्यसमा एउटा हाइट फाइनको एउटा प्रब्लमहरू आइरहेछ हाइट फाइन रोड ट्रान्सपोर्टमा हाइट फाइन लागिरहेछ हाम्रो कार्गोहरूमा एउटा त्यो क्वेसन भयो सेकेन्ड क्वेसन चाहिँ के छ भने इन्डियाको फ्रेट फरवर्डर्सहरूले हाम्रो नेपालको कार्गोहरू क्यारी गर्न सक्छ तर नेपाली फ्रेट फरवर्डर्सले Indian cargo किन carry गर्न नसक्ने?
Okay.
Thank you.
Third question, I think someone is there. नाम आफ्नो पनि भन्नु होला है.
Thank you. It's me, Milan Karmacharya, from Highland Air and Ocean Logistics. We are the freight forwarder and multimodal transporter in Nepal. We just awarded MTO license just before 2 months. Respected personalities sitting on the dais. Our NEPA represented by our dear Rajendra Dai, NDWC, NITDB, Indian Navy, Maritime Gateway, Calcutta, MAO, AFA, and the CGN in Calcutta, as well as Sanju sir. I was expecting to know in depth on the BBIN corridor, the infra, the custom rules and regulations, SOPs, as well as multilateral MOUs. But assume we discussed more on cross-border transportation, port, and then the BBIN and its impact to logistic processes and costs are not discussed. This is not my question. This is not my question, but it is my query to the concerned personality on the dais that what actually the BBIN is. When is expected to come on work this BBIN corridor transportation to the logistics development of its involving countries and the Nepal? As we hear, Bangladesh is not interested to participate and Bhutan also in non-decided situation to BBIN. So what we Nepalese freight forwarder expect conclusion from this interaction, please. Thank you for your valuable feedback. Thanks.
Thank you. You want to add?
I'll speak in Nepali just to make it a little bit clearer because there are more pertinent questions related to Nepal rather than internationally. On the question of, Kumar sir, What he said is, there are different initiatives that have been taking SAFTA, SAARC, BIMSTEC, BBIN. And, we've been switching from one to another. The SAARC failed, it didn't happen. Now we were talking about BBIN. Everybody committed, went to Bhutan. Everybody said, this is very good. And then, Bhutan backed off. And then Bangladesh is having some issues. Nepal had some issues. We had to get it rectified in a very late stage. And why all these sort of things? And now we are talking about BIMSTEC all of a sudden, which is a more higher regional integration sort of thing, and which is the best. To me, as a professional, as well as a consultant in the transport and logistics sector, I see things from a very micro level, very nearby. If we don't have a regional connectivity in a sub-regional basis between BBI and region, forget about SAARC, forget about BIMSTEC, because SAFTA, a very close initiative that we tried, has not been very beneficial to Nepal. So, to me, BBIN, if there is anything to happen, must happen, and if this happens, this can help Nepal expose its good practices and best practices to other parts of the world, and we can step on the BBIN and then go for a further regional integration, because that will be great. To the second question that was asked by Milanji on what actually BBIN is. We thought that this issue was discussed last year as well and in other places, and then everybody in the audience know what BBIN is. BBIN is just an initiative in the region that we made in order to make a free flow of passengers and free flow of cargo. And we agreed upon this to make it happen so that, Nepal gets more access to sea through the Indian chicken neck portion, where India also supports us. And that will help the business of the micro, small enterprises, and maybe Nepal has a better choice when there is crisis and in other places, in other situation. And India also gets a better connectivity because of the ocean freights and of the inland waterways and other things to the northeast side of India. And of course, Bhutan also benefits in the same manner that Nepal manages. Now, Bhutan backed up, just keeping in mind its own private sector and its environmental issues, and because of the misconcept. The same misconcept was there in Nepal in the transport industry, saying that they thought that the Indian trucks will start coming, Bangladeshi trucks will start coming into Nepal, moving goods inside Nepal from Kathmandu to Birganj, from Pokhara to Kathmandu, and then again to Surkhet and to other places, and they will get displaced. No, that is not what BBIN is all about. BBIN is about moving goods from the origin till the destination through a Nepalese truck up to the final destination through the Indian border point to Bangladesh and coming empty, not bringing anything. If there is anything, they need to have a better provisions and other provisions to carry a full container loads and to come back with those goods to Nepal. So we are working on that model. That's where there is a pilot that's been done on what type of model, what type of route, what type of risks that we face, what type of software that we need to make. And then there is no harm in going into this sector for, that to finalize that. The other question that was asked from this side, I just forgot about what you had asked about. What was it? Okay. This is a bilateral issue. This is regarding some fees because of some roads constructions, and India has got its own rules and regulations for road safety, and has got its own Excel road, weight limits and other things. And now if there is a bulk cargo and if this doesn't meet, and then if they charge something for this extra, in Nepal also, if we bring in the seminar way, we do have that. So I think there is no harm in all these sort of things. These are issues which are not much related, are much more related to the bilateral and not to the regional side. So we can discuss that in a separate level and try to solve it through NEFA. Okay? Any more clarifications from my side? I can give it to Ravi sir to further clarify.
Is there any questions from? I was just taking two more questions. Is there any person? asking a question? China's.
I just want to take a few minutes for adding to what the esteemed Rajendra sir just mentioned. Look, every framework and every instrument, legal instrument, provides the space for collaboration. So it is, I sincerely believe it is up to the stakeholders, it is up to the parties to strengthen their capacity, to improve the infrastructure, to bring about policy reforms, and then to leverage the ICTs that you have in the 21st century, to have a sort of seamless, hassle-free connectivity, whether in trade or in finance or people-to-people exchanges and so on. So let us look at BBIN, with positivity, with openness. Definitely, some stakeholders have some concerns, and what I believe is, every issue has, its one benefits and some challenges. So, so my humble view is that we should try to maximize the opportunities, that any regional or sub-regional cooperation framework provides us, and then sit down, discuss, to minimize the challenges, the risk, that crop up. So, so in terms of BBIN, motor vehicle agreement is one major component of that sub-regional, cooperation process. So I request, all the private sector stakeholders to try to, capture the benefits, the opportunities that this cooperation framework offers us, and then definitely, as a representative of the government of Nepal, from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, now the nodal ministry is the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So we'll take care of your genuine interest and concerns, and then we have very friendly partners, Bangladesh, India, and even Bhutan, So we'll sit together, if there is any challenge, policy issue, there are mechanisms, so within those mechanisms we'll discuss, and then we'll try to make this initiative very much, beneficial and win-win, process for all the parties, including, the private sector. So definitely your role, your participation and your contribution is very much important. So I request all the private sector stakeholders to approach this sub-regional initiative with openness, with positivity, and you are welcome. I myself is the nodal official. If you have any concerns, please come to us, and then representing government, I will negotiate with my colleague, and then try to make it mutually beneficial, not only for all parties, India, Bangladesh, and so in the present globalized world, we cannot remain isolated. Please let us accept this fact. We cannot remain isolated, and we should consider, the Indian friends, Bangladeshi friends, and other friends, in the region as collaborative partners, not competitors. So let us have an attitude of cooperation and collaboration rather than competition, and the other way around. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to add something?
Just to add a word, I think somebody has mentioned, if I understood correctly, BBIN, SAARC, BIMSTEC, why we have so many frameworks. I mean, first is the bilateral trade. These are all different fundamental blocks. The fundamental block is the bilateral trade. Once we have a bilateral trade in place, SAARC has a group of countries. BIMSTEC is another group of countries. BBIN today is extending your cargo movement till Bangladesh. Tomorrow, if there is BIMSTEC agreement, probably your cargo will go to Thailand. So these are not mutually exclusive. Each one has its own benefits and probably different multilateral arrangements, and we should be glad to be in as many as possible. So there's no conflict as such.
Just one thing to clarify, thank you. All these initiatives are something that is to facilitate the private sector to make business happen. If these initiatives does not work, business will not happen. So what is there? But why should the private sector stop in the initiation that the government and other governments are agreeing upon to make things happen? That should be the motto. As I said, when things gets better, then the role of the freight forwarders comes into the picture. When business starts happen, then we will start moving goods from one another. Then the insurance will come, and then like Sir said, the insurance will come, and other possibilities will also start developing, and other modes of transport will also start developing. So that is how I think the private sector should look into this, and we will welcome the piloting projects. We've done our business already. We know already the situation. The pilot will only help us reharness on what are the findings that we have made earlier, and then we can build on it, and the government is devoted to negotiate with its own partners. And I think if the things are better, if it is smooth, if it is cost effective, if it is time effective, then private sectors, the freight forwarders will jump into it and make things happen. Let's hope for the best. Thank you.
Any panelists? Any you want to clarify? It's okay. Thank you very much, all the panelists. Actually, I was just one of the participants asking. He's expecting that, discussion on the major issues in the BBIN provisions and it's a framework. Actually, if we go on discussing these issues here, the time, within this limited time, we cannot do that, isn't it? So what we expected that most of us know about the most of the provisions. That's why we discuss on that line. That is the things. Because BBIN, that was signed in 2015, June, I think, isn't it? So even our parliament has already ratified it. So we thought that what we expect that each and every stakeholder, they should know. They have already known it. That's why we didn't discuss it here. That is one part. Another part, what I think that, definitely the multilateral agreement, multilateral mechanism is more complicated than the bilateral one. Bilateral one is easy because we can solve staying to two parties in the same place. But in the multilateral, definitely we have a lot of issues because the policy harmonization is very complicated. Even the rules and regulation and other activities also harmonization is also complicated. That's why BBIN not moving forward. There are a lot of issues, a lot of negotiation is going on. Protocol negotiation is going on, even other MOU on 3 countries is also going on, and negotiation on that part. So there are a lot of issues that we need to, but what I think that we need to be very positive. We need to see what benefit we can get from each and this kind of initiatives, just like in BBIN. What BBIN is going to offer us? Just, one of the participants was asking, Indian vehicles are coming smoothly in Nepal, but Nepalese vehicle is not moving to the India, isn't it? But if we go on BBIN, that is possible, isn't it? BBIN has clear mandate on that part, and they had, they have, the protocol is designed in the same way, so that seamlessly Nepalese vehicle also can move to the India, and Indian vehicle also can move India. Even the Bangladesh vehicle can move smoothly here. That are the things. But we have to think how we can get benefit from that provision. We can, we hear from a lot of, our stakeholders here in Nepal that it is not possible to go to the India Nepalese vehicle to go India. But they can see how they can be benefited moving Nepalese vehicle up to the Calcutta. They can go there and take some, load from India also. That provision is also there, isn't it? So that is also, we are also discussing on that part, how we can benefit it. Okay, with this, my final remark. Now we are going on the closing session. Thank you everyone. We have now reached the concluding segment of this incredibly insightful interaction program on logistic development and Nepal and BBIN connectivity, and what a rich and comprehensive discussion it has been. As we draw a close, it's clear that our collective dialogue has successfully illuminated the multifaceted challenges and immense opportunities that lies within the Nepal logistics sector, particularly in the context of robust BBIN cooperations. We set out with clear objective, and I believe that we have made significant strides in addressing them. Our distinguished panelists have provided invaluable perspective from the various vantage angle points. Mr. Rajan Sharma offered a critical insight from the ground, highlighted the operational hurdles faced by the freight forwarders and the imperative for a digital transformation and streamline the broader processes. Mr. Prakash Prasad Pokhrel shed light on the crucial domestic aspect of the warehousing and internal transport, and emphasizing the need for the modern infrastructure and technological adoption within the Nepal logistic backbone. Mr. Ravi Ram Prasad offered a broader industry and media perspective also, emphasizing the evolving landscape of maritime connectivity. And Mr. Ashish Gajwal provided a clear outline of government Nepal's strategic priorities for the intermodal infrastructure development. In the same way, Yan Naresh eloquently articulated India's commitment to facilitate its motor cross-border and significant economic benefit that enhanced connectivity brings to Nepal. And finally, our Joint Secretary Gyan Bahadur Magar highlighted Nepal diplomatic efforts to leverage regional cooperation mechanism and understood the vision for transforming Nepal into a landlocked nation. Through these discussions, we have collectively identified key bottlenecks, reaffirmed the vital role of development partners like Asian Development Bank in supporting the regional connectivity, and fostered a greater understanding among the stakeholders. The conversation consistently pointed out towards the need for policy harmonization, infrastructure investment, digitization, strong public-private partnership, and continued regional cooperation. The outcome of this discussion is clear. We have significantly enhanced awareness of Nepal logistic gaps and a collaborative solution available. We have gathered concrete recommendations that will inform the policy improvement, guide infrastructure development, and support the capacity building. I want to extend my deepest gratitude to all our esteemed panelists for their invaluable contribution, for sharing their expertise to them so generously. Your insights have been truly enlightening and will serve as a foundation for actionable strategies. My sincere thanks go to the Nepal Freight Forwarder Association for organizing this timely and very important program, and to the Asian Development Bank Nepal Region Mission for their unwavering support. And of course, huge thanks to all the participants in the audience for your active engagement and pertinent questions. Your presence and contribution are what makes such a dialogue truly meaningful. Before I conclude, I would like to invite the chairperson of this session, Mr. Jacob Prasad Acharya, Consul General of Calcutta, for concluding remarks of this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi sir. सबैभन्दा पहिला म अब 8 महिना पछाडि एउटा नेपाली फोरममा बोल्ने अवसर प्राप्त भएको हुनाले नेपाली बोल्ने अनुमति चाहन्छु। 31औं कार्गो दिवस यस कार्यक्रमका अवसरमा कार्गो नेपाल फ्रेट एन्ड फरेट्स एसोसिएसनका अध्यक्षज्यू लगायत सम्पूर्ण पदाधिकारीज्यूहरू र यो सम्बद्ध सम्पूर्ण सरकारवालाज्यूहरू, नेपाल सरकारका बहालवाला र निवर्तमान र पूर्व सम्पूर्ण पदाधिकारीज्यूहरू र आजको यो कार्यक्रममा विशेष गरी हाम्रो यो सेसनको सञ्चालनको जिम्मा लिनुभएको हाम्रो रवि सैजु सर र सम्पूर्ण आदरणीय पेनलिस्टज्यूहरू र उपस्थित सम्पूर्ण महानुभावहरू र पत्रकार मित्रहरू र डिस्टिङ्ग्विस्ड गेस्ट कमिङ फ्रम इन्डिया, सबैलाई मेरो तर्फबाट एकदम हार्दिक धन्यवाद र नमस्कार भन्न चाहन्छु। यो वास्तवमा यो आजको फोरमलाई वास्तवमा मलाई अघि धेरै ठुलो ग्यादरिङ हुँदाखेरि अलि म उत्साहित थिएँ, धेरै कुराहरू भन्न पाइन्छ भन्ने मलाई एउटा अवसर थियो। अलि सानो सानो हुँदै गए तापनि अब मैले यो फोरमलाई दुईटा प्रोसिडरबाट प्रयोग गर्ने मैले अनुमति चाहन्छु। खास गरी मेरो छोटो कलकत्ताको बसाइ करिब 8 महिनाको बसाइमा मैले नेपालको ट्रेड सेक्टरमा बेसिकल्ली फ्रेट फ्रड लगायतका अन्य सेक्टरमा ओभरअलमा मेरो अब्जर्भेसन के रह्यो र सेकेन्ड वानमा चाहिँ आजको पेनलिस्टको बारेमा मेरो कुराहरू एकदम छोटकरीमा राख्नेछु, तपाईँहरू कोही पनि नआतिनु होला भन्ने मैले अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु। बेसिकल्ली आजको यो छलफलमा एउटा खुसीको कुरा के पनि छ भने डिफ्रेन्ट सेक्टरको यहाँ स्टेकहरू हुनुहुन्छ, त्यसले गर्दाखेरि अब सबै कुराहरू सबैलाई कुनै न कुनै हिसाबमा चाहिँ टच हुनेछ। यसले गर्दा चाहिँ यो मेरो एउटा अनुभव, मेरो एउटा सिकाइ, यसले चाहिँ कहीँ मलाई पनि करेक्सन हुने, कहीँ यहाँहरूलाई पनि करेक्सन हुने र एउटा लेसन लर्न हुने एउटा अवसर हुनेछ भन्ने पनि मैले अपेक्षा गरेको छु। बेसिकल्ली मैले फेस गरेको 2-4 कुराहरू मात्रै पहिला म यहाँ अनुरोध गर्न चाहन्छु। फ्रम द बिगिनिङ नेफाको पदाधिकारीज्यूहरू फर्चुनेटली मेरो कनेक्सनमा हुनुहुन्थ्यो। म जानुभन्दा पहिला नै उहाँहरूसँग एक किसिमको इन्फर्मल्ली सिटिङ उहाँहरूसँग गएँ। म बिफोर द्याट मसँग चिन्जान थिएन, तर म लङ टाइमदेखि यही सेक्टरमा काम गर्छु, उहाँहरूसँग पर्सनली मेरो चिन्जान थिएन र म गइसकेपछि फ्रिक्वेन्टली उहाँहरू पनि मेरो सङ्कर्ममा मेरो कनेक्सनमा हुनुहुन्थ्यो। जे इस्यु पर्दाखेरि पनि उहाँहरूले मलाई फोन गर्नुहुन्थ्यो र इन बिट्विन हामीले दुईवटा चाहिँ प्रोग्राम गऱ्यौँ, एउटा वीरगन्जमा प्रोग्राम गऱ्यौँ र एउटा सिलगढीमा गऱ्यौँ। यो दुईटै प्रोग्राममा उहाँका पदाधिकारीहरूसहित सबै गएर हामीलाई एकदम नेपालको तर्फबाट एकदमै स्वागत गर्नुभयो, सहयोग गर्नुभयो र त्यसमा फर्चुनेटली इन्डियन साइडबाट पनि द प्रिन्सिपल कमिसनर अफ कलकत्ता कस्टम एन्ड द डिजी अफ द BIS डिपार्टमेन्ट, आई थिङ्क यु वाज अल्सो प्रेजेन्ट दियर। उहाँहरूको पनि उपस्थिति हुँदाखेरि हाम्रो अलिकति सबै किसिमको डाइभर्स खालको उपस्थिति भयो र त्यहाँ हाम्रो कम्प्रिहेन्सिभ छलफलहरू भएका थिए र त्यो छलफल, दुईवटा छलफल, आजको हाम्रो प्यानलको छलफल र हामीले भोगिरहेका सबै छलफलहरूलाई मैले बिरङमा हेर्दाखेरि हामीले पुसको महिनामा नेपाल र भारत सरकारको बिचमा एउटा चाहिँ इन्टर गभर्मेन्टल कमिसनको मिटिङ गरेका थियौँ, IGC मिटिङ, इन्डियाको र नेपालको वाणिज्य सचिव स्तरीय मिटिङ गरेका थियौँ। त्यो मिटिङमा उठाएका अलमोस्ट इस्युहरू हामी अहिले पनि क्यारी ओभर गर्दै त्यसैमा छलफल गर्दै गइरहेछौँ र त्यो त्यसलाको मैले अहिले यहाँ बस्दा मलाई के कुरा रिमाइन्ड भयो भने त्यति बेला हाम्रो एउटा चाहिँ करिब 65-70 बुँदाको एउटा डिसिजन भएको छ, त्यहाँ एउटा माइनेट छ। त्यो माइनेटमा चाहिँ कतिपय कुराहरू यो यस्तो यस्तो गरिनेछ भन्ने छ, केही कुराहरू र अधिकांश कुराहरू यो डिप्लोमेटिकल्ली हामी चाहिँ भोलि यसको चाहिँ कन्सर्न अथोरिटीमा चाहिँ हामी यसलाई चाहिँ कम्युनिकेसन गर्छौँ र त्यसपछि चाहिँ यसको चाहिँ सोल्युसन निकालौँला भनेर इन्डियन सरकारबाट पनि हामीलाई आश्वासन प्राप्त भएको छ र त्यो बेसिसमा चाहिँ आज बिहान माननीय मन्त्रीज्यूबाट एउटा चाहिँ असाध्यै खुसीको कुरा यहाँ सुन्न पाइयो। यसमा चाहिँ हाम्रो राठीजी हुनुहुन्छ, उहाँसँग पनि उहाँले मलाई फोन गरेँ, मैले धेरैचोटि पनि इफोर्ट गरेँ। इन्डियन कस्टमको अथोरिटीहरूसँग पनि धेरैचोटि म बसेँ। आशिष सरले पनि एउटा मलाई चिठी लेख्नु भएको थियो, त्यो चिठीको पनि मैले कम्युनिकेट गरेँ र उहाँले चाहिँ फाइनल चिठीमा के लेख्नु भएको छ भने देयर सुड बी सम चेन्जेस इन आवर एक्जिस्टिङ ल, के अरे ट्रिटी भनेर लेख्नु भएको छ कि कस्टमको अथोरिटीहरूले। त्यसले गर्दा करिब लजिकल इन्डमा पुग्यो अब भन्ने चाहिँ हामीलाई लागेको थियो र मन्त्रीज्यूले एउटा चाहिँ राम्रो कुरा सुनाउनु भएको छ। यसले गर्दा म किन खुसी छु भनेपछि तपाईँहरूलाई मेरो रिजन पनि बताउँछु। अब यहाँहरू सबैलाई थाहा छ नेपालको ट्रेडको करिब 70-80% कलकत्ता पोर्टबाटै हुन्छ। हामीले एउटा विशाखापट्टनम प्रयोग गर्छौँ, एउटा कलकत्ता गर्छौँ, बस त्योभन्दा बाहेक इन्डियाको र थर्ड कन्ट्रीबाट आउने हाम्रो कहीँ छैन। अहिले पहिला एयरपोर्ट के अरे एयरलाइन्सबाट पनि कार्गोहरू आउँथ्यो, त्यो कार्गो त्यहाँबाट हामी पठाउँथ्यौँ। अहिले त्यो पनि हामीले त्यो प्रयोग गर्नु पनि पाएका छैनौँ। त्यसमा पनि पोजिटिभ हामीलाई सिग्नल मिलेको छ र मैले अस्ति पनि एउटा चिठी फ्रड गरेको छु, सम्भवतः त्यो पनि केही समयमा सल्भ हुन्छ भन्ने मैले अपेक्षा गरेको छु। र यसमा यो कलकत्ताको सवालमा कुरा गर्दाखेरि अहिले चाहिँ अरू ट्रेडमा त्यस्तो इस्युहरू छैन। तपाईँहरूलाई भेरी फ्रेङ्कली भन्नुपर्दाखेरि केही इस्युहरू मैले नरेशजीलाई पनि सेयर गरेको छु। अब दुईटै पार्टबाट छ र बेसिकल्ली भन्नुपर्दाखेरि तपाईँहरूलाई मैले भेरी अनेस्टली, मैले अन्यथा कसैले पनि नलिनु होला, नेपाल र भारतको व्यवसायीहरूको बिचमा जुन किसिमका मिसअन्डरस्ट्यान्डिङहरू छन्, जुन किसिमका डिस्क्रिपेन्सिजहरू छन्, जुन किसिमका एनामोलिजहरू छन्, त्यो तौल्ने हो भने नेपालको बढी छ है। तर म जहिले पनि नेपालीकै पक्षमा बोल्छु, म उनीहरूको पक्षमा बोल्दैन, म अनेस्टली भन्छु। मैले त जसले मलाई फोन गर्नुहुन्छ उहाँलाई नि भन्छु तपाईँ आउनुहोस्, तपाईँ र म बसेर छलफल गरौँ, उहाँहरूलाई पनि राखौँ र मैले उहाँहरूको बारेमा कुरा गरेँ, लबिङ गरेँ भने तपाईँले मलाई भन्नुहोला, त्यति हो। तपाईँको बारेमा गर्छु, तर के गर्ने, एभिडेन्स तपाईँले लेख्नु भएको छ, मेसेज पठाउनु भएको छ, व्हाट्सएपको सबै कन्भर्सेसन देखाउँछ उनीहरूले। अब मैले जतिसुकै लजिक लगाएँ, जति थ्योरिटिकल कुरा गरेँ, जति डिप्लोमेटिकल्ली बोल्यो भने मेरो के भ्यालु हुन्छ र त्यसले गर्दाखेरि यसमा अलिकति हामीले कहाँ करेक्सन हुनुपर्ने छ, हामी यो यस्तो बौद्धिक एउटा वर्गबाट यो कुराको मैले अपेक्षा गरेको छु। दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ ट्रेडको सवालमा अहिले कलकत्तामा भने अरू ट्रेडमा कुनै पनि प्रब्लम छैन र एउटा केमिकल फर्टिलाइजरमा एउटा समस्या छ। मैले अस्ति परराष्ट्र मन्त्रीज्यू सर पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो, हाम्रो ज्ञानबहादुर सर, सचिवज्यू सबै अगाडि पनि भनेको छु, अहिले तपाईँहरू सबैलाई भेरी फ्रेङ्कली भन्नुपर्दाखेरि कलकत्तामा मल थुप्रो मल आएर थुप्रिएको छ, पानी परेको छ, पुरै पोर्ट एरिया चाहिँ पानीले भिजेको छ। त्यहाँ चाहिँ मल कसरी राखेको छ भने तल इट्टा छ, त्यसमाथि प्लास्टिक छ, प्लास्टिकमाथि मल राखेर माथि होला प्लास्टिक छोपेको छ। अब त्यो मेनुअली सबै चाहिँ प्याकेजिङ हुन्छ, त्यहाँ लेबर गएर काम गर्नु पनि सक्दैन। अब यहाँ चाहिँ मैले सुनिरहेको छु हाउसमा डे टु डे यस्तो मलको सर्टेज छ नेपालमा भन्ने, अब त्यहाँ चाहिँ म हरेक दिन जान्छु पोर्टमा, मेरो जिम्मेवारी त होइन, तथापि म जान्छु नेपालको प्रतिनिधि भएको हुनाले अब गर्नै केही सकिँदैन। त्यसले हामीले चाहिँ अब यो यत्रो यो इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर डेभलपमेन्ट गर्ने, हाम्रो चाहिँ अब के अरे यो ट्रान्जिट डाइभर्सिफिकेसन गर्ने, डिजिटाइजेसन गर्ने, कनेक्टिभिटी गर्ने भन्ने जति हाम्रो पेनल डिस्कसनमा इस्युहरू आए त्यो बेसमा चाहिँ अब केही कुराहरू हामीले गर्नुपर्ने बेला भएको छ र चाहिँ अहिले मैले त्यो सवालमा पनि केही कुराहरू यहाँहरूसँग अनुरोध गर्नेछु। र अहिले अब हामी नेपाल र भारतको चाहिँ ट्रेडको सवालमा चाहिँ मल्टी मोडल ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन सिस्टम भनेर हामीले भनेका छौँ। यहाँ चाहिँ यो वाटरवेजको कुरा पनि आयो। अब हामीलाई पनि रिक्वेस्ट भएको छ, अब यहाँबाट चाहिँ यो हल्दियाबाट चाहिँ साहेबगञ्जसम्म चाहिँ वाटरवेज चलाउनु पऱ्यो यताउता भन्ने एउटा चाहिँ प्रस्ताव अलरेडी आएको छ, हाम्रो ट्रिटीमा पनि त्यो व्यवस्था छ। अब यहाँ बुझ्नुपर्ने कुरा चाहिँ हामीले के छ भने हामी यत्रो यहाँ ट्रेड फेरोड अफ फ्रडको कुरा गर्दाखेरि हामीले टाइम बढी लाग्यो, कस्ट बढी लाग्यो, हाम्रो ह्यान्डलिङ चार्ज बढी भयो। यसै पनि वर्ल्ड ब्याङ्कले चाहिँ अन्य देशहरूको तुलनामा ल्यान्डलर कन्ट्रीहरूको 5 to 10% चाहिँ कस्ट बढी हुन्छ भन्ने एउटा चाहिँ रिसर्चले देखाएकै छ। अब अहिले चाहिँ हामी त्यहाँबाट ल्याएर चाहिँ हल्दिया ल्याउने, हल्दियाबाट चाहिँ एउटामा राख्ने, त्यसपछि साहेबगञ्ज ल्याउने, त्यहाँ फेरि ट्रान्ससिपमेन्ट गर्ने, फेरि गाडीमा हाल्ने, त्यसले गर्दा हाम्रो टाइम के हुन्छ, हाम्रो कस्ट के हुन्छ, यो कुरा एउटा विचार गर्नुपर्छ। अहिले पनि कलकत्ता आउने सामानहरू यहाँलाई थाहा छ, सागरमा आएपछि त्यसपछि ल्याएर चाहिँ उनीहरूले अनलोड गर्छ, अर्को सानोमा हाल्छ, त्यसपछि ल्याउँछ कलकत्ता, त्यहाँ ल्याएर फेरि अनलोड गर्छ, फेरि प्याकेज गर्छ, फेरि पठाउँछ। भने यो हाम्रो चाहिँ ट्रान्जिटहरूको डाइभर्सिफिकेसन यस मानेमा जरुरी छ। जस्तै विशाखापट्टनमबाट आउने सामान न त्यहाँ कुनै कस्टमको मान्छेले हेर्नुपर्छ, न कुनै पोर्टको मान्छेले हुन्छ, सब कुरा सिमलेस अटोमेसनमा हुन्छ सबै। अब यदि हामीले नेपालको यो कस्ट, टाइम र ह्यासलहरू हटाउने हो भने कि अब हामीले डिप्लोमेटिक वेबाट गएर ती एक्जिस्टिङ पोर्टहरूलाई अलिकति मोडर्नाइज गर्ने सवालमा हाम्रो इफोर्ट हुनु पऱ्यो, अदरवाइज हामीले डाइभर्सिफाई गर्नु पऱ्यो। होइन भने अब त्यो चाहिँ तपाईँको 1800 कतिमा बनेको पोर्ट अहिलेसम्म त्यस्तै छ, अब कहिलेसम्म हामीले देख्न गयो। त्यस कारण यसको बारेमा मैले सबैलाई यो मेरो सिचुएसन के छ भन्ने बारेमा मात्रै म एक्लै घोत्लिन्छु। अब सबै यस्तो वर्गको बिचमा मैले सेयरिङ गरेँ, मलाई नि अलि हल्का होला सेयरिङ गर्दाखेरि भनेर यो कुरा राख्न चाहेँ। र दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ अब इन्डियाको पोर्टको डेभलपमेन्टको बारेमा हाम्रो रामप्रसाद सरले भनिसक्नु भएको छ। मैले कलकत्ताको पोर्टको पनि कुरा गरेँ, विशाखापट्टनमको पनि कुरा गरेँ, हामी धामरामा पनि हाम्रो वाणिज्य सचिवज्यूहरू आउँदाखेरि हामीले त्यहाँ पनि भिजिट गऱ्यौँ। अब हामी कहाँ आउने एक भेसल चाहिँ नि केमिकल फर्टिलाइजर ओभरनाइट प्याकेजिङ गरेर पठाउँदो रहेछ धामरामा, जबकि त्यो कलकत्तामा गर्दाखेरि डे टु डे गर्ने भने 30 days नर्मल लाग्छ। त्यसले गर्दा हामीले चाहिँ अब इन्डियाकै पनि विभिन्न किसिमका त्यस्तो पोर्टहरू छ, हामीलाई नजिक पर्ने, हामीलाई कस्ट इफेक्टिभ हुने यस्ता सवालमा हामीले इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको सवालमा हाम्रो डिप्लोमेसी प्रयोग गर्ने, हाम्रो ट्रिटीहरूलाई प्रयोग गर्ने, हामी यसरी कहाँबाट जान सकिन्छ भन्ने बारेमा चाहिँ सोच्नु जरुरी छ। यस्तो किसिमको फोरमबाट यो कुराहरू आउनु, पोलिसी रिकमेन्डेसन होस् भन्ने सवालमा पनि मैले यो कुरा अनुरोध गर्न चाहेँ। र अर्को कुरा चाहिँ अब BIS लगायतको केही नन टेरिफ ब्यारियरहरूले पनि हामीलाई प्रब्लम पारेको छ। जस्तै अब 2-4 महिना अगाडि हाम्रो प्लाइवुडको बारेमा इस्यु आयो, अब हाम्रो साथीहरू हाम्रो यहाँबाट हाम्रो यहाँको चाहिँ बिजनेसम्यानहरूले पनि अब एक्सपेक्टेसन गर्ने कुरा एकदम स्वाभाविक हो। हामीलाई फोन गर्नुहुन्छ त्यहाँ भन्नु पर्यो भन्नुहुन्छ, हामीले गर्ने भन्ने हो, त्योभन्दा बढी हामीले नि केही गर्न सकिँदैन। त्यसले गर्दा यस्ता सिरियस इस्युहरूमा पनि हामीले अलिकति टाइमली, किनभने उहाँहरूले 1 वर्ष अगाडिको टाइम दिएर चाहिँ 1 वर्ष पछाडि जब बन्द गर्यो त्यसपछि आज चाहिँ बन्द गर्यो भन्न भएन। 1 वर्ष अगाडिदेखि नै त्यसमा चाहिँ केही लाग्नु पर्यो र प्लस ल्याब लगायतका अरू नन ट्यारिफ ब्यारियरहरूको सवालमा पनि अलिकति हामीले चाहिँ अहिलेदेखि नै प्रिपरेसन गरेर गयौँ भने यो ओभरअलमा फ्रडिङ जे गर्ने, यसको कस्ट घटाउने, समय घटाउने, यो अटोमेसनमा हुन्छ, सिमुलेस हुन्छ भन्ने कुरा मैले चाहिँ अनुरोध गर्न चाहेँ। अब यसको लागि अलिकति चाहिँ एउटा अर्को सवाल चाहिँ के छ भने यसलाई हामीले अलिकति कोप गर्नलाई, यसलाई अलिकति चाहिँ हामीले फेसिलिटेट गर्नको लागि पनि अब हामी पनि त्यति चाहिँ पछाडि चाहिँ छैनौँ जस्तो लाग्छ। किनभने हाम्रो यहाँ प्यानलै हेर्दाखेरि हामीलाई थाहा छ, हाम्रो एनटिडब्ल्युसिएलको सर हुनुहुन्छ यहाँ, उहाँ आएपछि यति लाग्नु भएको छ, बिचरा 2 चोटि त उहाँ कलकत्ता जानुभयो, मसँग चाहिँ धेरैचोटि इन्ट्रेक्सन गरिसक्नुभयो, उहाँले धेरै इफोर्ट गरिरहनु भएको छ। अब हाम्रो त्यहाँ आफ्नो लिजमा ल्यान्ड पनि छ, तपाईँहरू धेरैलाई थाहा छैन होला, एउटा ल्यान्ड लिएर हामीले 30 वर्षदेखि प्रयोग नगरेर भाडा तिरिरहेको छौँ। अब मैले प्रकाश सरलाई के भनेको छु भने त्यो कि छोडौँ कि चाहिँ नि प्रयोग गरौँ हो, यस्ता किसिमका त्यो भयो भने हाम्रो कस्ट घट्छ क्या। अझै पनि कलकत्ता बोर्डले हामीलाई त्यो, मैले त्यसको डिमेरिट मात्रै भनेको छैन, हामीलाई मेरिट पनि छ। उनीहरूले नेपालीको लागि स्पेसल डेस्क राखिदिएको छ त्यहाँ। नेपाली कार्गोलाई अरूलाई 7 दिन छ भने हामीलाई 21 दिनसम्म कुनै पनि उनीहरूले डिटेन्सन चार्जहरू डोमेरी चार्जहरू लिँदैन उसले। अब नेपाली भन्यो भने अब हामीलाई केही इस्यु आउने बित्तिकै हामीले गएर पोर्टको अथोरिटीलाई अथवा कस्टमको अथोरिटीलाई भेट्ने, फोन गर्ने, हामीलाई क्विक रेस्पोन्स गर्नुहुन्छ उहाँहरूले। हामीले भयङ्कर राम्रो सपोर्ट पाएको छौँ। तर इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चर एज सच सम इस्यु छ त्यहाँ। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ ती कुरामा चाहिँ हामीले अब डाइभर्सिफिकेसनमा जानुपर्ने हुन्छ भन्ने सवालमा मैले यति राख्न चाहेँ। र अब मैले चाहिँ आजको यो प्यानल डिस्कसनको सवालमा थोरै कुराहरू मात्रै राख्ने अनुमति चाहन्छु। अब खास गरी मेरो फर्स्ट इस्यु के छ भने अब हाम्रो इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरलाई चाहिँ मोडर्नाइजेसन गर्नु पऱ्यो। इन्डियाको त छँदैछ, इन्डिया सरकारलाई हामीले रिक्वेस्ट गर्ने हो, हाम्रो पनि गर्नु पऱ्यो। जस्तै वीरगञ्जको प्रोग्राम हुँदाखेरि तपाईँहरू चाहिँ आउनुभयो, म आइसिपी हेर्न गएँ, आइसिपी हेर्न गएँ, ड्राइपोर्ट हेरेँ मैले, ड्राइपोर्टमा चाहिँ त्यत्रो ट्याङ्कर राख्ने ठाउँै, कन्टेनरहरू राख्ने ठाउँै छैन, पुरै चाहिँ त्यहीँभित्र सामान कुहिएको छ, रुख उम्रेको छ, दुनियाँ छ, यहाँ छैन, उहाँ छैन। कलकत्तामा गयो सिपिङ कम्पनीका मान्छेहरू हरेक दिन मेरोमा डेलिगेसन आउँछ, नेपालमा हाम्रो कन्टेनर रोकेर राखिदियो, त्यो चाहिँ रिलिज गराइदिनु पऱ्यो भन्नुहुन्छ उहाँहरू। अनि यो एक लेभलको इस्यु छ। अहिले चाहिँ आशिष सरलाई मैले यो फोरमबाटै अनुरोध गर्न चाहेँ, फेरि भेट होला नहोला, त्यहाँ चाहिँ कस्टममा जाँदाखेरि चाहिँ आइसिपीमा जाँदाखेरि यहाँ यो समस्या छ, यहाँ यस्तो छ, उहाँ यस्तो छ, यो म यहाँ कुनै अब सरहरूलाई यो दिशानिर्देश गर्ने कुनै अथोरिटी होइन, तैपनि मैले आफ्नो देखेको एक्सपिरियन्स मात्रै सेयरिङ गर्न खोजेको। उहाँहरूले चाहिँ त्यस्तो भन्नुभएको छ। बनेका इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरहरूको प्रयोग गर्ने एउटा सवाल छ, दोस्रो जुन बनिसकेका र अनगोइङ छन् तिनलाई पनि अलिकति टाइम टु टाइम हाम्रो तर्फबाट के किसिमको चाहिँ रिपेयर मेन्टेनेन्स गर्नुपर्छ, अलिकति त्यहाँ त्यो ह्यान्डल गर्ने निकायलाई अलिकति रेस्पोन्सिबल बनाउनु पर्ने एउटा चाहिँ विषय रहेको छ। दोस्रो कुरा चाहिँ मैले अघि पनि भने, फेरि पनि हाइलाइट गर्न चाहन्छु, ट्रान्जिटलाई हामीले डाइभर्सिफिकेसन केही न केही हिसाबले गर्नुपर्छ। अब उसले चाहिँ मुन्द्राकोले चाहिँ धामराकोले चाहिँ के भन्नुभएको छ भने पोर्ट अथोरिटीहरूले, तपाईँहरूले हामी चाहिँ रेडी छौँ, उहाँले मलाई अहिले फोन गरेर हुन्छ त्यो हाम्रो कहाँ पुग्यो भन्दै हुन्छ। अब हामी त वी आर रेडी त इट सुड बी डिसाइडेड फ्रम द गभर्मेन्ट अफ इन्डिया भनेर हामीले भन्छौँ। त्यसमा चाहिँ त्यो हामीले कुनै पोर्टलाई बिजनेस दिने कसलाई नदिने भन्दा पनि हाम्रो नेपालीको भलाइको निम्ति, हाम्रो बिजनेस प्रमोसनको लागि, हाम्रो ट्रेडलाई इन्हान्स गर्नको लागि, हाम्रो ट्रेडमा हुने जुन डुइङ अफ बिजनेस छ त्यसलाई कस्ट छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ मिनिमाइज गर्नको लागि र हामी हरेक हिसाबले चाहिँ हामीलाई कसरी चाहिँ पोजिटिभ हुनसक्छ त्यो वेमा जानुपर्ने भएको हुनाले यसमा पनि अलिकति भएकोलाई रिफर्म गर्ने र चाहिँ नयाँलाई अलिकति डाइभर्सिफाई गर्ने सवालमा पनि जानुपर्छ भन्ने मेरो एउटा अनुरोध छ। तेस्रोमा चाहिँ डिजिटाइजेसनको सवालमा हाम्रो एलबी सरसँग मेरो धेरैचोटि कुरा भएको छ, सर यहीँ हुनुहुन्छ, सरलाई देखेर सम्झेँ मैले। अब तपाईँहरूलाई पनि थाहा छ सबैलाई, अब डिजिटाइजेसन कस्तो भएको छ भने अलिकति चाहिँ एप्रोप्रिएट ठाउँमा भएको छैन। मैले यति मात्रै भन्न चाहेँ, योभन्दा बढी मैले भन्दिनँ। र एप्रोप्रिएट ठाउँमा गर्ने, जहाँ एप्रोप्रिएट छैन त्यसलाई चाहिँ ब्रेक गरेर एप्रोप्रिएट ठाउँमा गर्ने प्रयोजनको लागि हाम्रो पहलहरू हुनुपर्छ। र अघि मिस्टर एन नरेश एन्ड अल अफ द पार्टिसिपेन्ट फ्रिक्वेन्टली रेजिङ द इस्यु द पोलिसी हार्मोनाइजेसन। अब पोलिसी हार्मोनाइजेसन के छ भने अब हाम्रो देशकै पोलिसीको बारेमा हाम्रो हार्मोनाइजेसन छैन। हेर्नुहोस्, इन्टरनल पोलिसीको हकमा तपाईँहरूलाई थाहा छ, के अरे औद्योगिक व्यवसाय ऐनले एउटा ट्याक्स रेटको बारेमा कुरा गर्छ, आयकर ऐनले एउटा ट्याक्स रेटमा कुरा गर्छ भने हाम्रो पोलिसीमा हार्मोनाइजेसन छैन नि। भनेपछि अब हामी यो BBIN भनौँ त्यो रिजनमा गएर सबैको पोलिसीमा हार्मोनाइजेसन गर्ने कुरा चाहिँ अब भयो भने एकदम बेस्ट, भएन भने पनि हाम्रो इफोर्टबाट जति सकिन्छ त्यसलाई चाहिँ नेरो डाउन गर्ने प्रयासमा हामी लाग्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ मैले अनुरोध गरेँ। र चाहिँ यो गर्दाखेरि चाहिँ अब बेसिकल्ली हामीले उयो डिप्लोमेटिक च्यानलबाट गर्ने हो, डिप्लोमेसीको प्रयोग गर्ने, अलि डायलग गर्ने, अलि नेगोसिएसन डायलग गर्दाखेरि गिभ एन्ड टेक गर्नैपर्छ। सबै सधैँभरि हाम्रो विन विन हुँदैन, कहिले विन विन कहिले विन लस पनि हुनसक्छ। यो सवालमा चाहिँ हामी लाग्नुपर्छ भन्ने कुरा चाहिँ मैले अनुरोध गरेँ। र फाइनल्ली BBIN को बारेमा धेरै कुरा उठ्यो, तर BBIN को बारेमा एक्चुअली आई एम नट द एक्सपर्ट। बेसिकली मैले अस्ति चाहिँ कलकत्तामा एउटा चाहिँ कार्यक्रम भएको थियो, भुटानको एउटा गलेफु भन्ने ठाउँको लगाएर गल्फी रोड सो 2025 भन्ने एउटा प्रोग्राम थियो। त्यो PhD CCI भन्ने एउटा चाहिँ दिल्लीको इन्स्टिट्युटले गरेको थियो र त्यहाँको चाहिँ बङ्गाल चेम्बर एन्ड कमर्स र उहाँहरूको चाहिँ जोइन्टली उहाँहरूले अर्गनाइज गर्नुभएको थियो, मलाई पनि एउटा स्पिकर राख्नु भएको थियो। अनि मैले चाहिँ यो गलेफुको बारेमा नेपालको सिजीलाई किन बोल्नु लाग्यो भनेर मैले सोधेँ उहाँहरूलाई। अनि होइन हाम्रो त BBIN छ, अनि BBIN त अब भुटानले एक्सेप्ट गरेकै छैन, अनि कसरी BBIN हुन्छ भनेर भन्यो। अनि उहाँ त्यहाँ भुटानको मात्रै ऊ पनि हुनुहुन्थ्यो रिप्रेजेन्टेटिभहरू, उहाँहरूले के भन्नुभएको छ भने अब हाम्रो पनि अन्डर कन्सिडरेसन छ, अब उहाँहरूको इन्टरनल इस्यु केही होला, त्यस कारण चाहिँ अब यो हामी पनि पोजिटिभ छौँ भन्नुभयो, त्यसभन्दा बढी बोल्नु भएको छैन। र मेरो चाहिँ आफ्नो एउटा लेमन ओपिनियन चाहिँ के हो भने अब भुटानबाट चाहिँ वास्तवमा हामी चाहिँ भुटान र हामी चाहिँ ल्यान्डलक कन्ट्री, बङ्गलादेश र चाहिँ इन्डिया चाहिँ सीसँग एक्सेस भएको कन्ट्री भएको विषय नै हो। त्यही भएर चारवटा कन्ट्रीहरूलाई हामीले इन्टिग्रेसन गर्न खोजेको हो। एक्चुअली भुटानले चाहिँ तपाईँहरूलाई थाहा छ फुलबारीबाट दिनमा 10 देखि 20 ट्रक चाहिँ ढुङ्गा बङ्गलादेश पठाउँछ। इन्डियाबाट त्यत्रो सामान चाहिँ कलकत्ताबाट सामान आउने कि के अरे भुटानको हो कि हाम्रो, उनको 10 ट्रक आयो भने हाम्रो 1000 ट्रक आउँछ सामान। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि उनीहरूको एकदम नेग्लिजिबल क्वान्टिटीको मात्रै ट्रेड छ। र चाहिँ मेरो आफ्नो पर्सनल ओपिनियन मैले त्यहाँ पनि भनेको थिएँ, यो ट्रान्स हिमालयन ट्रायङ्गल बनाउनु पऱ्यो, एउटा तिम्रो यो पहाड जोडौँ भनेर चाहिँ बनाउनु पऱ्यो, त्यसपछि मात्रै त्यो BBIN अटोमेटिक जोडिन्छ भनेर भन्थ्यो। नभए पनि हामीलाई केही फरक छैन। र चाहिँ हामीले अघि यहाँ चाहिँ अब यो के अरे ट्रान्जिट डाइभर्सिफिकेसनको सवालमा हामीले बङ्गलादेशका बन्दरगाहहरू पनि प्रयोग गर्ने सवालमा र भारतका हामीलाई पाएक पर्ने बन्दरगाहहरू पनि प्रयोग गर्ने सवालमा जाने, र चाहिँ बङ्गलादेश भारत र चाहिँ नेपालको मात्रै BIN मात्रै बनाएर पनि गयौँ भने हामी अब हाम्रो ड्राफ्ट बनेको छ, त्यसमा चाहिँ त्यो पनि एउटा चाहिँ अप्सन हुनसक्छ भन्ने मेरो पर्सनल ओपिनियन हो। यो कुराहरू मैले राखेँ। र नेपालका इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरको सवालमा सरहरूले एकदमै उठाएको कुरा छ, यो सरकारले मात्रै गर्ने कुरा होइन, तपाईँ हामी सबैलाई थाहा छ इन्डियामा पनि त्यत्रा पोर्ट छन्। सरकारी पोर्टको बारेमा मैले तपाईँहरूलाई भनिहालेँ, प्राइभेट पोर्टको बारेमा मैले भनिहालेँ। त्यस कारण प्राइभेट सेक्टरको इङ्गेजमेन्ट म्यान्डेटरी छ, जरुरी छ, कम्पलसरी छ। र PPP मोडलमा हाम्रा इन्फ्रास्ट्रक्चरहरूमा पनि जानुपर्छ। सबै कुरा सरकारले गर्ने होइन, अब सरकारले गर्ने सीमित कुराहरू छन्। त्यो विश्वको एउटा डेभलप कन्ट्रीहरूदेखि लगेर सबै किसिमका लिबरल इकोनोमी भएका सबै देशहरूको एउटा ट्रेन्ड त्यही हो। त्यसले गर्दाखेरि हामी पनि त्योबाट चाहिँ अछुतो रहेर हामी पनि जान सक्दैनौँ, त्यो मोडलमा जानुपर्छ भन्दै अब सबै प्यानलिस्ट सरहरू र मोडरेटर सरलाई पनि चेयरको तर्फबाट एकदम हार्दिक धन्यवाद सहित बिदा हुन्छु। धन्यवाद।
धन्यवाद जक्कप्रसाद आचार्य सर। अब कार्यक्रमको अन्त्यमा उपस्थित महानुभावहरूलाई धन्यवाद ज्ञापन गरिदिनु हुनुको लागि आजको हाम्रो 31औं कार्गो दिवसका संयोजक यसरी सभापति एवं नेपाल फ्रेट फरवर्डर्स एसोसिएसनका अध्यक्ष श्री राजेन्द्र सङ्ग्रवालज्यूलाई हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु।
धन्यवाद विक्रम भाइ। लजिस्टिक डेभलपमेन्ट अफ नेपाल एन्ड BBIN कनेक्टिभिटी जुन हामीले स्लोगन राखेर यो कार्यक्रम चलायौँ, सम्पूर्ण प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई म विशेष धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। आदरणीय झक्कप्रसाद सरले यो चेयर गरिदिनु भयो, उहाँलाई पनि म नेपाल फ्रेट फरवर्ड एसोसिएसनको तर्फबाट धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। मलाई विश्वास छ यो करिब 2.5 घन्टा लामो हाम्रो यो सेसनले केही न केही लेसन पक्कै दिएको छ। भोलिका दिनहरूमा हामीले यसलाई इम्प्लिमेन्टमा लैजानेछौँ, एउटा चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ यसलाई डकुमेन्टको रूपमा लैजानेछौँ भन्ने म विश्वास लिएको छु। यतिका बेर यहाँहरू बसिदिनु भयो, मेरो अगाडि नेपाल फ्रेट फरवर्ड एसोसिएसनका सम्पूर्ण मेम्बरहरूलाई म विशेष धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। हाम्रो कार्य समितिले यो कार्यक्रम सुनेको छ, सम्पूर्ण कार्य समितिलाई पनि धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छु। र अन्त्यमा मैले धेरै लामो यो लिन, किनभने हामी योभन्दा पछाडि अर्को सेसन छ, डिनर सेसन छ। यहाँहरू सम्पूर्णलाई यो डिनर सेसनमा सामेल भइदिनलाई म फेरि पनि अनुरोध गर्दछु, किनकि यो डिनर सेसन मात्रै होइन, एउटा चाहिँ हाम्रो एउटा त्यो रचनात्मक कार्यक्रमहरू पनि छ त्यसमा। त्यसकारण यहाँहरू सम्पूर्णलाई म डिनरमा समेत सहभागी भइदिन अनुरोध गर्दै म बिदा हुन्छु। धन्यवाद।
अब कार्यक्रमको अन्त्यमा हाम्रा चेयरपर्सन, मोडरेटर तथा प्यानलिस्टहरूलाई मायाको चिनो प्रदान गरिदिनु हुनको लागि म नेपाल अध्यक्ष श्री राजेन्द्र सङ्ग्राज्यू एवं तथा कार्यक्रम 31औं कार्गो दिवसका संयोजक एवं नेपाल फ्रेट फरवर्ड्स एसोसिएसनका वरिष्ठ उपाध्यक्ष श्री नरेश कुमार अग्रवालज्यूलाई हार्दिक अनुरोध गर्दछु। डायसमै आएर दिइदिनु हुनुको लागि पनि यसैको साथ अनुरोध गरेँ मैले।